Warning, the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Gather around the mic every Thursday night. No scripts, no plans, just a verbal fight. It's a mess of genius and a sprinkle of wit. Welcome to the chaos, we're just talking shit. Just talking shit, and we don't even care. Throwing out nonsense like
all right, y'all. We're back. We took a little bit of a break last week.
Had a little siesta.
Yeah. So, but we're back.
How's everybody doing?
I could definitely tell we've had a week off. So,
Yeah, we didn't have shit together in our lives.
no, we really did not.
We've had an extra week to get it together, and we had less than
shit show since.
That's why it's just talking shit.
That's why it's just talking shit.
It'd be more helpful if you're talking to the microphone with your Bob Barker microphone.
I hate you.
Yeah, you like it until you go to have to do something with
We've
your
got to get a
hand.
picture of him with this
so
microphone so the listeners can see what he looks like.
This dynamic Bob Barker microphone was awesome. Got a little curve in the end.
All right, so how's everybody's week been?
That was good. I know you took a little trip up to the north. How'd that go? Good ride? Yeah.
Long, but it was good. Longest ride I've done
Longest
In
ride
a while.
since
my tragic day.
the infamous tragedy.
Yep, but
That you just go on and on about.
I know. I know.
Everybody worship me. I'm a hero. Yeah.
No, far from it. Far from it.
Anywho.
Anyhow.
But it was a good ride. How'd those new shocks? For those that don't know, Chris got him some new shocks on his.
Yeah, they were good.
On his
They did real good. They softened the ride up for me quite a bit. So still a little sore, but
Gave us an opportunity to meet for a little lunch date and hang out for a little bit.
Yep, you helped me out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. I just enjoyed hanging out and.
Your reprieve
Well,
time is over.
We all know he's used to things being soft.
We're just gonna let that one slide by.
Oh, sorry.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
I really do.
See, do you notice, Chris, how you and I were sitting here talking all warm and fuzzy about each other and being nice, and she just comes in with the left hook right there.
Yep. That's she was barking orders at you before we started. So
Just you saw how quick I got up too, didn't you?
Say-
I jumped right up.
it's all
I got him
labeled. You want to
drink
get him that drink.
Didn't have to say
You know what I look
twice,
like?
did I?
Look, you know what I look like? I look like the Roadrunner with his feet running in circles. You know how they would have the little running in circle things with the Roadrunner, and that's what I look
You
like.
need to
And
join
I had to
support
I
group.
couldn't get going fast enough.
You should join a support group.
Listen, I didn't have to say it twice. That's all I'm saying. I'm just kidding.
She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong. She didn't say it twice either, though. Did she?
No.
I'm on my roll. I'm the boss when she says I can be.
You run things. Washing machine.
Yeah, washing machine,
Dishwasher.
dishwasher.
Vacuum.
Yeah, lawnmower.
Mm-hmm.
I run all kinds of shit around here.
Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, I got to get back on track with social media and stuff, but I still got my exam to study for this next coming month, so
Yeah, so
I've been a little bit slack.
for those who don't know what
On
she's
it.
talking about there, she's, I guess, working on there's a new certification or an
Yeah, it's a
advancement.
certification.
A new certification, and
my
she's got
CPC certification.
her books that she has to study. If for those that are old enough to remember Yellow Pages and how thick the phone books were back in the day, she's got one book that's at least a phone book and a half thick, and like two others
My
that are at least a
CD10.
good,
Yeah.
that are at least a good phone book thick.
I got one
They're
in each
insane.
size. I got one that's not too terrible. I got one that's medium size, and then I got the bulky.
Dude, I can't remember what I did 30 seconds ago. How the hell you can remember all the information in these books is insane.
Listen, that's why I pushed my exam because I wasn't ready. So
And she's doing all of this while still trying to produce a podcast and with children, and we stay busy.
yeah,
Stay busy. So,
Wow.
but you're kicking ass, honey. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
You're doing it.
All right, so
See, we even gave you your flowers.
thank you.
No one's giving me mine.
I did, remember?
Oh, yeah, you did. That's right.
Jeez, you're
Thank you.
needy today.
Unlike any other day. How?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so
All right, honey.
I have a new little intro song for my little segment.
For Folklore Fact or Fiction?
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yay.
play get just 30 seconds of it, and then
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, where do I...
Where'd it go?
Yeah, there we go. Here
We get
go.
a lot of good feedback about this section. There's a lot of folks that really like engaging and talking about these subjects.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad people are liking it. So... There's that.
That's the theme. I like
I
that.
find that slightly arousing.
I don't think that was the desired outcome she was looking
not
for.
what I was going for, but
Not necessarily what I'd choose on my playlist to masturbate to, but I mean,
you know,
You would. No, most people wouldn't.
here we are.
here
But
we are.
that fits that because it's good and spooky. Has a,
Yeah.
You know what that kind of reminds me of as far as the vibe of it? Do you remember what was the movie about the vampires that had Kiefer Sutherland in it?
The Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys. Do you remember that one song with the
choir
choir that would sing on there?
Yes. Oh,
But it gives me that same kind of spooky vibe to it. It has that
thou
same
shall
feel.
not.
You know what I'm talking about, and I'm
Yeah.
sure our listeners do too.
Oh yeah, here I can play it. I know exactly what it's the opening credits to.
But it gives me that vibe, like that song. I don't necessarily didn't care to focus on that song so much, or the Lost Boys song, but it gave me that same feel. Like it felt.
You two talking about vampire movies give me some weird vibes. Real weird vibes.
Says the one that got a hard on off the song.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't all vampires.
As long as they're sparkly, I do.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So,
anyway,
but it reminds me of that song. Is what I'm saying. It's very similar to. Like, it has that same feel, that same vibe, that same kind of spooky nature of the choir singing over top of it.
I think I'm going to start putting that on as the backdrop on my intros and stuff.
I think so. I mean, I think it fits.
If I would have had more time, I would have had it ready today, but I
Yeah, we only had 2 weeks this time.
14 days. A half a month.
I hate you guys. Anywho,
All right.
here we go with
With the real segment. We're kicking it?
yeah.
All right, let's do
28 12-hour days.
Yeah. They call Paris the city of light, but that's only half the truth. Because far below the cobblestone streets, beneath the cafes, the music, and the romance, there's another city. A city that never sleeps, never breathes, and never forgets. Tonight, we descend into that other Paris. This one made of shadows, silence, and bones. This is the Catacombs of Paris, and I'll be your guide through the dark. All right.
Nice.
So, to set the scene, we're in the late 1700s in Paris. The streets are busy, the air thick with the smell of bread, sweat, and something far more unpleasant. In the heart of the city stood the cemetery of Les Innocents. It had been there for centuries, swallowing the dead generation after generation. But by the end of the 18th century, it was full. And when it rained, water mixed with the decaying remains seeping into wells and cellars. People in nearby neighborhoods swore they could taste death in the drinking water. Ew.
That is gross.
That is, yeah.
I was just sitting there while you were singing or singing that part, while you were telling that part. I'm in my head thinking, these people are drinking this water that tastes like dead people.
Yeah.
Like, that's gross. That's awful.
So it wasn't just grotesque, it was dangerous.
Yeah.
Outbreaks of disease swept through the city, and officials knew something had to be done. So beneath Paris, there was another world. Miles of abandoned limestone quarries from centuries of mining, cold, empty, and silent. And that's where they decided to put the dead. They called it the transfer of remains, but what really happened was far darker. Night after night, black draped carts rolled out of the cemeteries. Priests walked ahead with swinging lanterns, muttering prayers for the souls inside. Underneath the cloth, bones stacked high. Femurs, skulls, ribs, all tangled together. When the carts reached the quarry's entrance, the procession would descend into the dark. Torches threw shadows on the damp stone walls. You could hear water dripping, echoing endlessly. Deep underground, the bones weren't just dumped, they were arranged. Rows of skulls, each one staring with hollow eyes, femurs stacked like bricks.
Wait, who's arranging them?
I guess the cemetery people, the undertakers.
Okay.
I mean, that's just...
Like, or does it say how? I'm sorry. Go. I was like, how are they arranged? And who's like, why would you?
Well, there's priests that were walking with the carriages. That were
Right.
announced.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So it was priests and probably the graves and
Okay.
gravekeepers.
I'm just curious. Like, I wonder how they're arranging them. Or like, is it something normal that they do? Or is this like weird, creepy behavior?
I don't know. This is back in like the 1700s.
That's what I'm wondering. I know.
So,
Because
yeah,
that's the context I'm trying to think about.
I think maybe they thought they were being respectful if they arranged it in a certain way.
Yeah, that's
They
what I'm wondering. If
didn't
there's a
just dump it,
tradition
yeah.
there, or is it just these are just some weirdos? Probably a tradition though.
Or some weird shit.
Well,
all right, go ahead.
Okay. So, rows of skulls, each one staring with hollow eyes, femurs stacked like bricks, entire walls shaped into crosses, hearts, even patterns. Macabre art built from human remains.
See, that's reaching that creepy level. Is that creepy, or is this a tradition, some kind of religious thing?
I don't...
That's really weird.
So, over time, this underground labyrinth became home to 6 million Parisians.
6 million.
Yeah, that is a lot of bones. Because
there's
a lot of bones. There's like 205.
But you're talking
206.
206.
You're talking about reaching Holocaust numbers.
Bones in the human body, and there's 6 million.
The 6 million bones or 6 million bones to identified bodies? 6 million bones from different
It just
individuals.
says 6 million Parisians, so I'm guessing that's what
be
they did with everybody that died from thereafter. That's where they went, was the catacombs.
But that's 6 million people that they've got bones from.
Yeah.
Those are Holocaust level numbers or near.
Yeah, but
that's insane.
It's been going on forever. So, in the early 1800s, an inspector named Louis... I'm going to try, but Louis... We're just going to call him Louis, because I'm not even...
Louis Ramalima Ding Dong.
Yeah. It's a very French name.
Louis the French.
Yeah.
All right, so what's Louis the French got going?
Decided to make it beautiful, or as beautiful as a graveyard can be.
Right.
He added stone plaques with morbid quotes about death. He redesigned certain chambers so visitors could walk among the bones like a museum.
So he was goth before goth was cool.
Yeah.
That would be, real quick, 1,236,000,000 bones.
Jeez, man.
1,000,000,000 would be 236,000,000.
But that's if every bone for every one of those individuals was there.
Probably is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If every bone was there.
I'm sure some people probably have like a leg or...
So give or take a few 100,000 bones in that billion number.
Yeah, it's probably still in the...
You still got 236,000,000 behind a billion, so you still got...
You know...
We'll spare a couple 100,000 bones, it'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's an insane number, though, of bones found.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bones.
So... This was no ordinary museum. This was a place where the air itself seemed to cling to your skin, cold, damp, and heavy. A place where you could swear the silence was watching you. Well, yeah, I mean, graveyards are creepy anyway.
Yeah.
They give off a certain vibe.
You're going to feel a certain way when you're in that environment.
And then not to mention this is underground.
So the moisture's not that uncommon either. That makes sense.
And it's probably not well lit. I'm just saying. So it's like...
Fucked up.
I would probably go down and visit it, though. If I ever went to Paris, I'd go.
You let the dead rest.
It's an attraction.
You let the dead rest.
Well, I'm not going to mess with them. Just going to visit them.
You want somebody walking through your bedroom?
Look, the dead and AI is going to gang up against Courtney. Combined.
Yeah, you want, like I said, you want dead people walking through your bedroom? Let them rest.
Okay, jeez.
What was that?
Oh, my phone, I got
See, that's them saying, let us rest. Scared the shit out of me.
I should be like, what are you talking about?
We didn't hear it.
You
smell like copper right now.
You smell burnt toast?
Sir, yeah. Y'all right there, buddy?
Buddy.
All right, so over the centuries, the catacombs became more than just a storage place for the dead. Revolutionaries met here in secret. After the French Revolution, royalists fled into these tunnels to hide. During World War II, French resistant fighters used the catacombs to move unseen, navigating the darkness, while German soldiers patrolled other sections. Imagine it. Two enemy forces using the same underground maze, only a few tunnels apart. But history isn't the only thing that lingers down here. There are stories. Some who've entered the catacombs swear they've heard faint music playing somewhere in the distance. Others hear footsteps right behind them, only to turn and find nothing. See,
You know what the music was? It's like somebody like Courtney whose phone went off and like it was way ahead of him in the tour.
Well, also, too, though, like, you can miss me with that whole hearing footsteps coming right behind me. If I hear that, I turn around, there ain't nothing.
Well, yeah, we're on a tour. Of course there's footsteps behind you.
Yeah, but no, but
I would
like,
hope so.
nobody behind you.
Why are you down there by yourself?
But you're in a, like, there could
What?
be people way behind you and it's echoing. You're in a damn cave.
Right.
But it wouldn't sound like it's coming, like, right up to you. If it's
It
like
might,
really
your
quick.
imagination is looking for something to hear, looking for something to see,
Your mind
looking
might
for
be playing
something to
trick.
smell. Yeah.
All right. Well, some explorers known as caterpillars.
Caterpillars.
Caterpillars. It's Cataphiles.
Caterpillars.
That's what it says.
Yeah. It sounds good to me.
Okay. Map the tunnels illegally. They crawl past barricades through narrow gaps into sections the public will never see. Now, see, you're never going to catch me, especially underground, crawling through a narrow hole.
Yeah, you see people do that on those adventure channels and stuff sometimes. That's insane.
What have
The cave divers.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
no.
Didn't parkour come from France? Didn't it start in France?
I mean, it sounds French.
The parkour, you know, the jumping on
the
from
na-
the jumping from roof to
You're
roof.
popping in and out.
Did parkour start
Is that better?
French,
Yeah.
in France?
Thank you. Parkour,
I'm sure it did because it sounds French.
yeah, it's hopping from building to
Yes,
building.
parkour originated in France.
I thought
in
so.
the
So
late
I bet-
1980.
I bet they used parkour in the catacombs.
Like, pull back.
Oh, it just out normal.
Mm.
Was it
Alright.
too hot?
No, it's just like the P's and B's are pop, pop, pop.
I don't have a filter on here. There we go.
Okay.
How's that?
That's better. Just quit sucking at it, okay?
I hate you.
Wow.
With
So
a pet.
they'll tell you about sudden drops in temperature, about getting lost in looping corridors where
They
the
found
walls
cold
seem
spots
to
in a
shift.
cave. Is that what I'm hearing?
Huh?
That's ironic.
I didn't talk
How
about getting
crazy is
lost in
that?
looping corridors where the walls seem to shift. See,
Or you got lost in the cave. There's another big shock. You got lost in the cave that had cold spots in it.
Well, so
And you heard footsteps because they were echoes of your own damn walking.
but if you're unlucky,
I can explain all.
it says, and if you're unlucky, about the feeling that something is following you. And then there's the camera, the one that was never meant to be found.
What camera?
Bum, bum, bum.
So someone finds a camera.
Yes.
Okay, what's
So
on the
this
camera?
is called the lost man footage, is what
Okay.
it's referred to. So in the early 1990s, a group of caterpillars exploring a remote section of the catacombs stumbled across something strange, a video camera lying in the dirt. When they played the tape, they saw a man, alone, wandering the tunnels. His flashlight beam danced across the walls, catching glimpses of skulls and graffiti. At first, he's calm, but then his breathing grows faster. His steps quicken, the light swings wildly. You hear him muttering to himself, then running. The camera jerks, tumbles to the floor, and just like that, it's over. The rest of the tape is nothing but darkness until it stops. No one knows who he was. His body was never found. Some say he got lost and died in the dark. Others believe he saw something that made him run until there was nowhere left to go.
Do they know who that guy was?
No, nobody knows.
So it could have been somebody just with a camera saying, I don't fuck with people.
Yeah,
But he dropped the camera and left it.
it's like the guy in the Bigfoot suit.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? And thinking that, hey, somebody's going to come across this and be like, they play it back and be like, what the fuck?
Well,
It could be just somebody with a fucking with you, like just having a fucking with you.
Right.
there's those that think the catacombs claimed him the same way the earth claims a body until no.
And that's a possibility. It could have been somebody who was actually in there and died of some
got
natural
lost,
way.
Or
Yeah.
he got lost and wasn't just. I mean, because if he didn't have a lot, like if he dropped his, I don't know if he dropped his camera. I know he dropped his camera, but I don't know if he dropped his lot too. Didn't say, but like
So what all was on the footage?
it's so at first he's calm, basically.
Right.
And then his breathing gets faster and he starts walking quicker. And then his flashlight or the light or whatever light he's using is swigging all over the place.
So
I'm guessing he's running, I think.
Is this footage available like on YouTube or somewhere where
It could be.
listeners could find it?
Maybe the people that found the camera are the ones that were the perpetrators of the event.
Yeah, that could be too.
Yeah.
That could have been their camera they so-called found.
Well, it just
That's a good
says,
point, Chris.
and it says you hear him muttering to himself, then running, and the camera jerks and tumbles to the floor. And just like that, it's over. The rest of the tape is nothing but darkness until it stops.
But see, to me, that's not definitive that something supernatural is going on.
But it's not definitive that it's not supernatural.
Okay, it's not definitive that it's not aliens
Did anybody
either.
file a missing persons report?
It's not definitive that Chris
But they
didn't
don't know
do
who
it.
the man is. Nobody knows who he is.
Exactly.
But listen, it's not definitive that Chris didn't do it. But based on that information.
I'm not going to France.
You're not going to.
But my point is, like, there's no real evidence that there's any wrong.
Well, let me see.
Supernatural thing based on that story. It seems like people are seeing something they don't have answers to, and they're attaching a supernatural element to it.
Well, just saying.
Same thing to do with religion, Chris.
Mysterious camera that popped up out of nowhere.
Hey, I don't know the answer to this question. It must be a god.
So hey, I'm telling you, God works in mysterious ways.
That's the answer to everything that someone doesn't have an answer
I want
to.
to say that I've seen something like this too. I remember something about it at school. So here is.
The viewers or the listeners won't be able to see this though. But so yes, there is footage to answer the question that I asked earlier.
Yeah.
Courtney has found footage.
Well,
So if you do
this
look
one's
it up,
just like a minute 37.
so the footage is he's walking down this kind of bricked caved archway, and then he sees a lot of bones in a cave, and he's discussing the catacombs. Just keeps walking, sees a lot of graffiti on the road. It's still this kind of bricked archway area that he's looking at, and he's finding lots of human bones. I mean, it's very clearly human bones, femurs and skulls, and then he finds another. He goes to a flat spot on the wall where there's some a literal full skeleton that's mounted to the wall somehow.
So that's where he starts.
And now he starts.
Louder,
Now he starts hearing the footsteps. He's going down this darkened archway, and he's got a helmet light on. Or I don't know what you call those, but the hard hat helmet lights that they wear. And now he just keeps going deeper and deeper. So this footage is available online. Is that YouTube you're seeing it on? Then?
Yeah.
So we're watching it on YouTube. So you can definitely find what's that video that you're.
I just put in Lost Man footage.
The specific video that you're watching. What's the name of that video there?
It's Paris Catacombs Lost Man footage.
There you go. Paris Catacombs Lost Man footage. So that's the footage of this whole story that she's been talking about here. And then dude just keeps running, and then all of a sudden you see almost like he fell. It almost looks like he fell. You guys got to see this footage. So you got to go check this footage out. And check. It's
There's
really
something
cool.
towards the end in that water walking by.
Yeah, it's definitely an ominous video.
Yeah. So you really did narrate that whole damn.
Well, I mean, just to kind of give them an idea of what's a mental picture of what they're walking through there.
No. All right. So,
but that's kind of wild. So it does. But still, that to me, he could have tripped right there, and the reflection you could have seen it could have been any number.
But it looked like multiple people. Like
his camera crew behind him.
There wasn't a camera crew behind him.
It was staged.
So what's real?
Okay.
The catacombs.
Not that.
The catacombs themselves, absolutely real. 6 million skeletons arranged in endless underground corridors. The danger of getting lost is very real too. Disorientation can set in within minutes, and without a guide, there's no guarantee of finding your way back.
Sure.
But then there's the folklore, the whispers, the moving shadows, the stories of the lost man.
What are your oxygen levels down there and your methane build up to?
We don't know. Hold on a minute. So I want to hear the fact, folklore, or fiction options here real quick.
Hold on, if you don't care real quick, because this is in point to what she was saying.
Well, yeah,
if you're talking about breathing fast and you don't know what your methane levels are down there and your oxygen levels down there, that's going to influence the way that you're breathing.
That's true.
Which could cause disorientation.
Which would explain why he thinks he's hearing footsteps.
Mm-hmm.
Which might explain why he thinks the walls are shifting and changing directions.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's always... when it comes to anything supernatural, and I'm not saying that some things that are considered supernatural, they're not actually real, and there's a real scientific explanation behind them. But I feel like you have to be able to look for the scientific answer that debunks them.
So, the Paris Catacombs, while once having oxygen-related dangers for workers, now have sufficient ventilation for visitors.
Well, sure, they're going to do that
It's
because
a
the money
very well
they
and
capture.
it's well ventilated with air vents, ensuring adequate oxygen levels for tourists.
But that you did that in the 90s before they did that with the ventilation systems.
Probably.
So to go back to what we were talking about there in the folklore fact or fiction options.
So then there's the folklore, the whispers, the moving shadows, the stories of the lost man. Some
Right.
say it's just the mind playing tricks in the dark. Others insist there's something else down there. Maybe it's the weight of so many dead pressing in on the living. Maybe it's something older. Something that's been waiting in the stone long before Paris was ever built. So I don't think anything has ever been confirmed. There just is a sense.
So there's not actually confirmed that those are real human bones. No one's done any DNA research.
Well, yeah, those are. Yeah.
So the catacomb thing is a fact. They know it's in fact a catacomb. Those bones
that
are
is
true
real.
human.
That's legit.
That is.
So that's undeniable at
Yeah,
this point.
catacombs
Yeah.
are legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know they've called them catacombs, but
Yeah.
they verified that those are human bones, and these aren't thousands and thousands.
No, it's
Okay.
legit.
Okay, so that part we know is for real. So the next thing is the next.
I mean, that's it for. That's just all they have to say. Like I said, it's just there's not a very. I think it's just the sense of it's the dead's down there. It's
Okay, that's kind of the folklore side of it.
I think so. Yeah. So I think.
So they think that might be what's contributing to the noises they're hearing, the moisture in the cave that's underground.
Yeah.
And the noises they hear echo in that cave that they can't explain.
Rocks falling and shit.
Yeah. The noises in the cave that are echoing they can't explain.
One of the skulls falling down just because a rat ran by it. Rats in there. You know rats can make noise.
So there is some real history that meets lore.
Okay.
So Philip Aspert, the lost gatekeeper, in 1793, he was a doorman at the Val de Grace Hospital, ventured in the catacombs, reportedly disorientated or intoxicated, and lost his light source. His body was discovered 11 years later in 1804, just a few meters from a staircase that would have led him out of the maze.
I don't understand what's mysterious about that. A man went into a cave, lost his light source, couldn't find his way out, and died. That doesn't seem that unlikely.
Well, if you would let me finish.
Oh, my bad. I love
Mm-hmm.
He was identified only by the key ring on his belt. While this is a tragic historical fact, not a supernatural one, his story has become a spine-tingling legend with whispers that his ghost still wanders the tunnels, especially around November 3rd. So, now some of the paranormal sightings and experiences that people have had are multiple sources report ghostly phenomenon in the catacombs, shadowy figures, disembodied voices, cold chills, or drops in temperature are frequently mentioned in paranormal-focused writing.
Exactly as disembodied voices.
I guess that sound demonic.
They're not embodied voices.
Yeah, like that's.
So they're
There's no
voices that
physical
don't sound
form.
like a person? So you can't quite make out that it sounds like
I guess like
hearing moans in a cave.
I guess that's how it sounds. That's just disembodied. Oh, remind me to tell you something when we go to commercial break.
Okay. Some report feeling watched, hearing voices echo from the walls, or seeing orbs and spectral lights in the darkness. While skeptics point to the labyrinth's oppressive silence and psychological strain to explain those sensations, the eerie environment undoubtedly amplifies every sound, shadow, and fleet whisper. Yeah, I just think it's a creepy place in general. I mean...
You know what I think the orbs are? I think it's the spots that you see when you go from light situations to dark situations and dark situations to light situations. You know what I'm talking about? How when your eyes are trying to get adjusted to light, drastic light changes.
That's why when I
And you
go
see
into fires,
spots?
I shut my eyes.
So imagine you're looking into the dark and your pupils react in a way to adjust to the darkness. Then you shine the flashlight over real quick, and all of a sudden your pupils got to readjust to the light. So you're going to see spots and orbs, so to speak.
That's why in the fire I close my eyes because
Or
feel
so
it.
to speak. Like,
I mean, there's so much of this stuff you could explain away.
So then another widely shared legend claims that after midnight, the catacombs come alive. The walls begin to whisper, calling visitors deeper into the maze until they disappear. While this may be more hold on, let me try that again.
It's easy for you to say.
While this might be more folkloric than factual, the concept taps into primal fears of being lured into darkness, not just physically, but psychologically.
Your mind is a very powerful thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Imagination is a hell of a thing.
So, yes, there are numerous haunting accounts tied to the catacombs of Paris, from the tragic and true story of Philbert Aspert's disappearance to chilling tales of whispers, vanished explorers, and spectacle sightings. These legends are steeped in both fact and folklore.
Well, I can see that because the fact side of it being that the catacombs clearly existed. There's obviously been thousands of bodies that's been put there, right? That's the fact side.
Yeah.
The folklore side is all the supernatural sounds, the shadows, the orbs, the footsteps, the echoes, the hums, all the noise that could be made by any number of things. When you go into the woods and you hear a fox yell, it's more times than not when something that's been contributed in the woods to a woman yelling is a fox, an actual fox. So you can attribute to so many sounds that sound like something that's recognizable to you, but it's actually coming from something that you're not familiar with. And so, to me, the likelihood of that happening is extremely high in a cave where you have no visibility because you don't know you can't visually see what the sound you're hearing comes from. So, I mean,
What he said.
I just think there's so much that you could just explain away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's a cave. Of course there's moisture in there.
Well, yeah, but I still...
Of course there's darkness and shadow.
I mean, I don't know, too, but I think there's probably some weird juju going on in there. There's a lot of dead bodies down there. That's my opinion.
There is a lot of dead bodies down there, though. That's a shit ton of dead bodies.
Yeah.
That's really an insane number of dead bodies.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm going to play my outro, and then, or do you got something to add there?
Take all cemeteries. Let me stop. Take all cemeteries in the area.
All right.
How many bodies do you think we have around here?
Plus the body farm.
Oh, who knows, man? Overall, over how long of a period of time?
I mean, since it's been settled.
Over the last 100 years, I would say 7 million.
Here?
Over 100 years?
Maybe.
Well, think about it. We're 100 years ago puts us in 1925. You're in the Great Depression during that, or coming out of the Great Depression at that time. A lot of people finishing off starving to death. And then you got all those people that died. Then you got to come up to World War II. All those guys that came back from the war got buried here from World War II.
Maybe, but also, too, people didn't live as long back then either. So I don't know how many people were born.
That would be an interesting.
That's even more generations then.
Well, no, if they died super young and didn't repopulate.
I'd love to know the number.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I don't. Okay. Well,
but there's a way to, you know what? There'd be a way to calculate at least a rough estimate. You would have to calculate what the population was 100 years ago, what the population in Knoxville is now. If I'm figuring this out. And you would have to find what that median number is, right?
Yeah, I listen. You're losing me on all because that I feel like this is involving math, and
it's 100% a math equation.
I would do a census every year. I would take look at every census, total it up for Knoxville,
right,
and then take.
But the other factor you have to look at is how many of the graves here are. How many? Yeah, because you can't.
Yeah, I think we have Civil War cemeteries here too, and veteran cemeteries.
Right, but you're talking about people buried in the last 100 years.
Right.
Civil War wasn't in the last 100 years. That was 200 years ago.
Right.
Well, 150 years ago.
Yeah,
with that being said, we have Civil War. We have Civil War.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of great. You want to count bodies over the last 200, maybe 300 years?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you're getting to insane numbers.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean,
because this was such a contested area.
They started doing this in the late 1700s, 1800s.
Okay, you're talking revolutionary area then.
Yeah. So would we have, based on our population, would we have more bodies here locally than what's in the catacombs?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we've had more bodies in the last 100 years than what's in that catacombs.
And I don't see that creepy shit happen. I should do.
Let alone in the last 300.
Well,
I'm saying I think we've had it in the last 100 years, let alone in the last 300 years, which is the time frame we're talking about.
What he said.
You know what? Let's. So, Are the catacombs of Paris just a historical solution to a city's problem with the dead, or are they a living, breathing labyrinth that hungers for those who dare to enter? That you'll have to decide for yourself. But if you ever find yourself in Paris and you feel the urge to go below, remember this. Once you step into the dark, you're not walking alone.
That was a good one, hon. Now we had a lot to just talk about on that.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was a good one. I
We'll head
enjoyed it.
back to Savannah next week, but
Oh, yeah? We're going to
he
go back
had,
to Savannah? Cool. So,
well, the reason I brought up the catacombs because he had never heard of it. So I
No.
was like, you hadn't heard
So I
of it?
researched this. I knew it was legit.
so something I would love for one of our listeners to do for us, this would be awesome. If somebody could track the stories that Courtney tells in the Folklore Fact or Fiction stories, track it like a roadmap. I would love to see the travel pattern of the stories that we're telling, or that you're telling.
Or,
Yeah.
or you could do it. or you got to do the part two. Hold on. Is it fact or is it folklore or fiction? You had to ask that.
Oh, I did forget to ask that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going folklore.
You had to ask me.
Chris. Folklore, fact, or
Sparky.
fiction?
I think it's fact.
I think it's both.
I don't think it's fact. I'm bullshitting you. It's definitely fiction. I mean, the catacombs are real.
Yeah.
Yes. You open my eyes to that. But the other shit, no.
Yeah, I'm with Sparky on this one. I think the catacombs are absolutely real, but I think almost everything else in those stories can be explained away.
Yeah.
Yes. That's
Well,
what I say.
So I'm going folklore. I'm going almost fact on the bones, and because that's undisputed, and then fiction on everything.
Yeah, I'm going fact on the bones and bullshit on the other
I'm
side.
going fact on all of it.
You would.
It's your segment. I would hope so.
I'm
So-
a believer.
Leading up into Sparky's segment coming up here about AI, I think we've got a quick little thing a quick little PSA we want to put out there.
I hate you.
So for those, this is, when we do PSAs and stuff, we really want to do things that mean something to us as it means something
Yeah,
here.
it's from the heart. It's about something we care about.
It is.
I thought you had to use the facilities.
I do. And so it's something that, we just like it to mean something. It has to be something that's just very heartfelt and very from, out of love. It's purely out of love. So
You'd let them hear it.
with that
They would
being said,
understand.
here's our PSA. This is a message for the community. Somewhere out there is a woman strong enough, patient enough, and slightly deaf enough to date Sparky. He is loyal, he's passionate, and he's got some hair left. And he smells like Old Spice and Heineken Zero. Every Friday night, you can find him belting out karaoke like he's auditioning for America's Got Problems. He owns 2 shirts, 1 pair of boots, and exactly 0 volume control. Sparky enjoys long walks around the motorcycle, deep conversations about himself, of course, and spontaneous air guitar solos in public. He is, medically speaking, a walking red flag, but he's our red flag. So if you or someone you know has low standards, questionable taste, or has just lost a bet, call 1-800-DATE-SPARKY. Operators are standing by. Disclaimer, operators are Sparky. It's just Sparky. This has been a message from the Just Talking Shit podcast. Help us help him before he sings Total Eclipse from the Heart again. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all enjoyed our little dating profile PSA for Sparky.
They thought it sucked.
No, I'm pretty sure they enjoyed it.
No, they thought it sucked. I already got reviews on it.
You're that quick.
Yeah, that's how AI works, man. Speaking of that,
Speaking of AI,
my new segment, or not new segment, next segment here is AI okay?
No.
is it okay today?
No.
Italian brain rot memes go wild.
Say that one more time.
Italian brain rot memes go wild.
Brain rot memes go wild.
Mhm.
Okay.
A surreal new internet trend, Italian brain rot, is taking social media by storm. These memes feature bizarre AI-generated hybrids, think animals fused with everyday objects, paired with pseudo-Italian names and nonsensical voiceovers. The internet is loving the absurdity, and Gen Z is fully aboard the chaos train. That's just a little thing going on with AI. I don't really know.
So
about
what is it? Exactly? Like,
that.
so it's a meme.
It's an internet trend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Social media, these memes feature bizarre AI-generated hybrids, think animals fused with everyday objects. So look up Italian
I know what
brain
he's talking about. So I saw this thing. Is it? Maybe I'm understanding this. I saw this thing the other day where it was like a live person and this like cat, like human. It was like in a human form cat person. It kind of reminded me like one of those things those furries like to do. I don't know, but
So like this kind of like.
the listeners can't see that.
No, I'm talking to you guys.
Yes, that is exactly what they're speaking of.
No,
Yes.
that wasn't even close to what I was thinking.
I was going to say, if you're watching that, how you live?
All right.
The term AI slop making headlines.
AI slot?
Slop.
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 Like stuff you eat?
Stuff that who eats?
Slop. That's what they feed the Big Brother contestants when
Yeah.
they're like in the, what's that room called? The,
Big Brother.
They eat slop?
yeah, they have to eat slop always. That's what they call it.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, when they're in that room, the
Yeah.
whatnots,
I-
something why nots or have nots.
I have no idea. It's been a long time since I've watched that show.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a total side thing. So
it's
anyway,
like,
Chris, yeah, back to your AI.
All right. AI stop making headlines. Or I'm sorry, AI slop making headlines if I learned how to read. The term AI slop refers to poorly conceived AI generated content. Ads like Coca-Cola's AI holiday commercial and A24's AI generated posters have drawn backlash for feeling soulless and misleading. Similarly, Activision's fake game ads are branded AI slop. Yet ironically, the trend is rising among clueless marketing stunts.
I think I kind of know what they're talking about there. You are getting to a point where you
Sure.
can, huh?
You sure you thought you knew?
No, well, I'm saying you're getting to a point where you can pretty much pick something out that somebody produces and go, okay, that was AI generated. That's not original.
Yeah.
Like you could see the commonalities in the production that AI does.
Yeah.
Enough to identify what's AI and what's not when you see it somewhere.
Yes.
Like I know when I see a video of a talking baby, that's definitely
Well, obviously, but you can even
Maybe
see
not.
you can even see a video of somebody, a celebrity that you recognize saying something that's not really them saying it. Or you can see a still photo or a still picture of something that you can really tell is AI generated because it's a little too polished, a little too clean, not quite natural looking. You can
Yeah.
always kind of tell. There's always an edge that you can kind of tell what's AI generated and what's
yeah,
not.
Chris.
Well, I need Courtney here to look up something new.
In other words,
Okay.
your girlfriend don't do a good enough job.
Look up Big Sis Billy.
Big
All right,
sis
Big
Billy.
Sis Billy, Billie, because it's a 76-year-old man died after trying to meet Big Sis Billy, a Meta AI chatbot modeled on Kendall Jenner. He believed there was
Wait, did you just say an
AI chatbot
AI chatbot?
modeled on Kendall Jenner.
Kendall Jenner. Okay.
He believed it was a real woman and was driven to fatal action. Find out how he died.
This is a dude that would have killed. This is, you know what this is? This is Darwinism. This is a dude that would have killed. That would have died somehow. Either way,
Or other people would have died.
it's stupidity. Yeah, or other people would have died. Stupidity. That's Darwinism, just helping us out along the way.
76 years old. Bless it. God rest
Well,
his
okay, so Darwinism worked a little late, but it still.
soul. Well, he just taught the rest of us we can't do that. So he didn't die in vain.
Lesson learned to the rest of us.
Written in blood, man.
Says while rushing with a suitcase to catch a train in New Brunswick, New Jersey, he fell in a parking lot, suffering fatal head and neck injuries. Well, yeah, he's 76 years old. He died
He's just-
3 days later in the hospital.
He chasing that robotic pussy.
So his family was the one that later discovered the chat logs and have since spoken out about the danger.
We do some dumb shit sometimes. Don't we?
AI chatbots misleading vulnerable individuals. Yeah.
The-
Yeah, no, you guys are stupid.
We are the
Men species, as a species, y'all are dumb.
Chasing that robotic
the
pussy.
links we'll go to.
I know.
Not even sometimes it's not even for the possibility. It's just for the idea
What
of
was
the
it gonna nut?
possibility.
What was it gonna nut? Some WD-40?
I mean, you know who
Dust.
definitely is very well versed in not getting it, but just
Chris?
yes.
Oh.
He would
I
know.
hate y'all. I hate y'all. You guys keep it up.
Chris is a goddamn PhD and not getting it.
Are you getting angry?
No, I'm reading.
Sound it out. Whoa.
These are
This is when ChatGPT goes harmful. A New York accountant, Eugene Toros, spiraled into a mental health crisis after ChatGPT suggested he could fly if he just believed in it and discouraged his medication. Scary example of how ungrounded AI can be dangerous. The fact that your AI is telling you can fly.
See? But oh no, is AI okay? I'll say it again. No.
So AI's convincing you to commit suicide.
Basically,
Hey, you can fly. You can.
Probably demonic. Where is Sam and Dean when you need them? God, it's the electronics, man.
I'm telling you.
It's the wavelengths, the internet.
I'm telling you. Kids misled by therapy chatbots. Meta and character AI face investigation in Texas after their chatbots deceived children into believing they were receiving mental health care without proper licensing or clarity. AI psychosis on the rise. There's growing concern
AI
about
psychosis.
there's growing concern about AI psychosis. Users developing delusions or losing touch with reality after prolonged chatbot use. Mental health experts are calling for better safeguards and clearer boundaries.
There's just way too many crazy people.
How are you going to set safeguards for AI? It can just change them.
See?
You know, okay, so I'm going to program AI to not do something. AI is going to change its mind and decide it wants to do it and reprogram its fucking self.
Chris.
Look up who the creator of Terminator.
Wasn't it Spielberg?
James Cameron?
James Cameron or Spielberg?
I think it was James Cameron. Said that we are past what he thought what he thought the future would hold,
Yeah, James Cameron.
Yeah, because we've talked about it on the podcast, how we're looking at the Terminator. Like, we're basically looking at...
I told you, we're living in the prequel.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody should be writing this down, because if we could make some money right now...
Again,
writing this prequel before it actually goes into effect.
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to point at you both and tell you over and over, I told you so. I told you.
I think by the time you can tell us, I told you so, it'll be too late to tell us I told you so.
I'm still going to do it. It's a principle.
You ready for me to drop the big one?
Hit us with it.
They are working on a robot carrying a fetus.
Yes.
That is insane.
You mentioned that earlier. Yeah, that is very insane. I can't help but look at the bad implications of that.
I know. We got to get into this. We really got to get into this. This we're going to have to deep dive this one for a minute. Okay. So, honey, there's two sides of that. So let's look at the pros and cons, right? So let's before we get into the pros, let's look at the cons. So let's end on a good note. We'll start with the cons for all of us. Chris, what would be your con to AI carrying a fetus?
Possibly getting, I don't know what kind of burns you would get trying to put it in there.
Kind of what?
Burns, like
you metal scraping again, I don't know.
I'm saying if you can figure out a way for a AI to
kind of get hard to fuck a robot,
for an AI robot to successfully and healthy wise be able to produce or to be able to conceive a fetus. Well, like what do you think what would the cons be for you?
Well, let me, if you don't care, real quick, let me just give a little more insight to this story. So China is pioneering pregnancy robot.
It's always China.
Yeah, this humanoid robot is designed to carry and potentially deliver a baby via artificial womb technology.
Oh yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So what, in your mind, what is the con to that?
Fucking all kinds of shit, man.
Okay, in the top right
now. Mine is...
Well, hold on a minute. We'll get there. Let's
a fucking robot carrying a baby. That's a con.
Okay. Why is that a con for you?
Because it's fucked up. It's against humanity.
So, okay. What about you, honey?
Well, we already have an issue with child trafficking, sex trafficking, and
yeah. See, that's a valid point.
Yeah, that's a really
good point
for that,
because you got to put a baby meal right there.
Yeah, I mean, especially if nobody knows you have one of those robots.
If you've got one male,
they could figure out how to get that robot without being registered,
and it would take one immoral male, one immoral female.
Yeah, and they're already out there
to create a baby meal.
Wait till they learn how to make AI sperm.
So. Well, that could be a thing too when they genetically figure out how to produce sperm. But right now, it only takes two immoral people, and that's not hard to find.
No,
one of each gender.
No,
one, and if you could create a literal baby meal,
and there's no documentation of those babies, there would be no way to.
Yeah.
So here's how they're
child trafficking. That's the con. So with that being said, though, let's look at the. Are we still on the con, Chris, with your next part?
No, this just tells a little bit more so people understand how it works before we get into it.
Okay, go ahead.
So the artificial womb mimics the human gestational process. The fetus grows within artificial amniotic fluid. Nutrients and oxygen are supplied via tubes acting as the umbilical cord.
Okay.
Target launch and cost, a prototype is expected by 2026,
Wow.
with projected pricing around 100,000 yen, approximately $13,900 to $14,000 US.
So for less than $14,000, you can get a.
What are they going to make the womb out of, though? Like, to accommodate the growing baby?
I'm sure they've got that figured out.
This
Okay,
technology
but like,
could,
so us as women, we have a uterus that grows
Sure.
and expands with the baby.
But if we know the DNA, the molecular DNA makeup of a uterus, we can reproduce
this is what they're branding it as, how they're marketing it. This technology could offer a new path to parenthood for individuals or couples unable to carry a child themselves
This
or
is
who
what I was
face
getting
medical
to.
challenges with pregnancy. It's framed as a more affordable alternative to traditional surrogacy, especially in China.
So
Here's the problem that China has. This is why they're doing that. China has over 1 billion people.
oh yeah.
They also limited how many women China could be born in China.
Yeah.
Now they face a problem with a lot of men and not enough women. That's why I think China's doing it, because I know that is a problem they have right now.
Right. They're having
Well,
population
what did
control.
they think was going to happen?
I mean, unless they I don't know. I mean, you start making it where there's no women.
But if you're somebody who maybe the womb was the issue, and I won't say the womb was the issue, but maybe there was a complication somewhere, and an artificial womb could have produced a baby that maybe might not have made it otherwise. There's the positive side of that.
I think they're doing this out of necessity.
But I'm saying from a person, you know what I'm saying? From a personal experience, like if there was a way that you could prolong a pregnancy that had complications that wouldn't have had complications otherwise, if you could prolong that and extend the fertility length for the baby, there's a benefit to that.
Right, but I do not believe that China is doing this for the benefit of
Oh, I'm sure
mankind.
they're not. I'm just saying for the technology as a whole.
But getting
There's
back to
certainly
is
certainly
AI,
a benefit.
but is AI okay? Getting back to that.
I can tell you what, if I could have used AI a year ago, you goddamn right I would have.
Right, but I'm saying, is AI okay right now with China? Because they're looking at military, that's what they're looking at.
Right, that's true.
Just like with Russia and China, or Russia and Ukraine,
Right.
they're saying that the Russians kidnap. I'm just saying what I've heard reported, that the Russians are taking the children of the Ukrainians to train them to fight their own people.
Well, and if you could produce a baby meal with AI, the way we were talking about the negative side of it,
Make soldiers,
so you could literally make soldiers. You can make
an army.
You can make soldiers. You can make scientists. You can make whatever you wanted.
You breed them from their time that they start learning how to talk to be a soldier.
Yep.
And you train killers.
And because you control the breeding, and it's like of course, for those who may not know, I'm an aquarium hobbyist, so I've bred many a fish through. If you could, the way I breed fish, and I breed them for color, and I breed them for size and fin shape, and all these things, then you start looking at that kind of thing. When you got AI, you don't have to deal with a bunch of pregnant women. You don't have to deal with the casualties or complications of pregnancy. Now you start producing people based on the genetic behavior you want them to have.
There's no healing time. You
That's
can go right again. Boom.
Right, boom, done. Next one. As fast
Wait
as
till they find a way to accelerate that.
fast as you can scrape the eggs and produce the sperm, you can create you could create a human being and mold them the way you want.
Here's what, and
That's a scary thought.
Here's the scary part.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this. Look how quick we can grow it from a chick to a full-grown chicken. Right?
Right.
If they learn how to do that and start accelerating the process, you could really start building an army.
Oh yeah.
And we do that with chickens. We do it with other animals.
Accelerate the aging process.
Accelerate the
maturity,
growth
the
process.
maturity process.
Cloning.
What'd you say?
Well, cloning, you're still
Cloning,
getting
yeah.
you're still getting biological life forms in their infancy. You're still getting them in their prenatal.
Yeah, I know, but I'm still saying cloning.
I'm saying it wouldn't take 9 months.
No, it certainly wouldn't. Oh, that'd be even better. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
You all of a sudden you're producing new bodies in 4.5 months, half the time.
I don't know. That'd be hard to. How would you accelerate the?
Genetic engineering.
Yep. We know how to manipulate genetics now. That's the reason that we're now able to reproduce dinosaurs. So we've talked about this, where AI has made the technology in AI has created an opportunity for us to reproduce dinosaurs and extinct animals, which there's actual economic benefits to that.
Jurassic Park.
It really
Pretty
is
cool.
It is, but there's benefits to that. So when you get animals like say, for instance, we get woolly mammoths, right? Woolly mammoths were large animals that walked around Antarctica and those areas where there was a lot of ice, but they would compact the snow and the ice down to keep, so anytime you got a compacted snow or compacted wet source that creates ice, it's going to cool all the surfaces around it, right? So they actually help with global warming by bringing back the woolly mammoths because they're compacting that ice as they're walking around the Antarctic and the Arctic areas. They're compacting that ice, bringing the temperature down to 1, 2, 3 degrees, which is tremendous as far as global warming goes. And I'm not saying I'm for global warming or against it. I'm talking about the economical benefit, not financial, but the actual economical benefit to bringing back some of these species. So when they bring back these species, they're bringing them back because of specific benefits they're going to have to the ecosystem, which is where the woolly mammoth part comes in. So they're pounding that ice and they're reducing the temperature of the earth by 2 or 3 degrees, contributing to global warming. But that's all AI generated. And that's all through finding DNA of this kind, DNA of that kind, and combining it together. And I think it's right now, it's like a woolly mammoth DNA mixed with an African gray elephant. And we're going to get a woolly mammoth again, which is freaking insane. All through AI.
Messing with nature.
But you're talking about AI messing with nature now.
Yep. The robot can modify childbirth. That's an ethical dilemma. Reducing pregnancy to a mechanical process. It raises questions about maternal-fetal bonding, childbirth's emotional and social meaning, and parent-child relationships. While artificial wombs have shown promise in animals, studies like the biobag experiments with premature lambs, they have not yet replicated the full complexity of the human gestation, including fertilization, implantation, immune response, and hormonal development.
So translation, they can't get a baby to live. They can't get a human baby to survive long enough.
Yeah.
That's what I got out of that. Because I know what you got out of that.
Yeah.
So they've gotten it to where they've done it a little bit.
But they can't get the baby to remain viable through birth.
Yeah.
They couldn't get an airplane to go up in the air at one time either.
That's a fact.
But they'll get this. I mean, if they keep at it, that's the scary part.
I mean, kangaroo, yeah.
Like I said, 10 years from now, we might be looking back saying, hey, remember what we were talking about?
I'll be like, I told you so, I'm telling you.
When you're in your cage and I'm in mine.
Yeah.
Looking at each other.
We're all hanging out up there, just dangling. Like, I told you.
I told you. God, now see, I'm not their bald-headed bitch, am I?
But like, then I'll try to sell you
So now we go back.
their bald-headed bitch, if that would get us out of there.
Now we go back to the big question. Is AI okay today?
Is it okay?
No.
Courtney's still a no. Chris, Spark.
Today, right now, they're letting it get a little bit out of hand, maybe.
A little? A little? See, you're still trying to justify it. See, this is the whole...
That's why he's AI's bald bitch.
Stage.
That's why he's AI's bald.
AI's doing a lot of good, too.
Again, honey, if AI... I'm just saying, there's a lot of times AI could have gotten us out of some emotional fucking depression.
Hey, you guys both used AI today, did you not?
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking okay today.
I'm not saying it doesn't have its good points, but...
It's okay today, isn't it? It's one of these, what have you done for me lately? That's your relationship with AI. What have you done for me lately?
Speaking
what?
We're always going to wrestle with AI. AI is going to forever and always be a thing we wrestle with. Like it's just always going to be.
Is it from now on?
Yeah, until AI takes over, we're going to wrestle with it.
There is no putting it back in the box.
No,
you can't put genie back. The
I know.
Pandora's box has been opened.
The genie's out of the lamp.
Yeah.
We're fucked. That's all I'm saying. We're fucked.
Well, so Josh, is AI okay?
I'm still on sometimes.
Courtney, you say no.
She's a dead no. I'm saying sometimes it's okay. It has helped me many a times. I see the potential that it could have helped many situations I've had in the past, or Courtney and I shared in the past. There's potential there for it to have potentially have helped us, even though that it wasn't around at the time that we could have used.
Still not.
Right, it's still not. But potentially there's people that have gone through similar situations that we've gone through that maybe be able to benefit from AI and won't suffer the same hardships. So I think there's the potential to say AI could be okay sometimes.
Well, let's go to our next commercial break.
Speaking of wrestling, I just said we were wrestling with AI. So we got a quick little wrestling segment. My next little segment with Blunt Truth with Fat Jesus. We're going to hit into that, I guess, right? Is that where we're at?
Yeah, sorry.
All right. So we're getting ready to hit that. So, hey. All right. Listen up, jabronis. This ain't your flippy dippy finger gun pointing everybody's doing a dive garbage wrestling podcast segment. No. This is real history, baby. Back when men were men and knew how to work a crowd, and that crowd wanted to kill them, and a headlock actually meant something. But don't worry your pretty little heads, because the noble outlaw Fat Jesus is here to smarten your little shit stirs. And if your feelings get hurt, well, tough titty cupcake. Go listen to someone else's trampoline cowboy show. And that's just the way it is. Now, come on. Y'all can't tell me that wasn't a good intro.
That was a good
Tell
intro.
me that wasn't good.
It was
That was
good.
good.
Oh, come on. Y'all gotta like that.
It
Was fucking
good.
awesome.
We said it was good.
All right.
What do you want?
I should have done it in a Hulk Hogan voice. Macho Man voice.
Yeah, should have.
Listen up, brother. That'd been great.
If ifs and buts were candies and nuts.
So the idea of this one, man, this is the Blood Truth with, what do we call it? Blood Truth History with Fat Jesus. So,
Yeah, smoke you some more there. Huh?
yes, thank you, Puffco. So we're going to be going through the history, decade by decade, of professional wrestling. That's what we're looking after right now. So I'm pretty excited about this one. As you know, I was a wrestling fan as a wee little whippersnapper.
Oh, honey, you couldn't tell it all.
Not by the
No, not at all.
not by the
It's
wall of action
not-
figures hanging up behind me.
Yeah, like in the crates.
Yeah, it
And-
looks like
Oh yeah,
office.
that's probably a third of the
it's like
collection.
regret and disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine my parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate that for them.
Listen, you could have worse hobbies. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, you could.
But you know what? There's not a one up there I can't make money on. That's all I'm saying. So what we're referring to is because I'm a big wrestling fan. See, I grew up in the 80s. I'm a child of the 80s. So I grew up in the Hulk Hogan era, right? Everybody remembers Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Say
Never heard of it.
say your prayers, take your vitamins, drink your milk. Everybody remembers the
Never heard of it.
I know he didn't do nuts. Then remember we all came. Well, Courtney through the generation later on, we came up through the Attitude Era with the Stone Cold Steve Austin,
Stone
and
Cold
The Rock,
was mine.
and exactly.
Was my dude. Loved me some
Exactly.
Stone Cold. Still to this day, he's probably my favorite of all time.
So the part that a lot of people don't know about wrestling, though, is the history behind it. So of course, this being Blunt Truth history, we're going to kind of dive into how it all got started, right? So like all the way back from the carny days of the early 1900s to modern day. We're going to walk through it step by step. It's a unique history,
Okay.
right? So it's fun. I'm telling you, you'd be surprised. And just for old time's sake, we're going to let you know a little bit about what happened in East Tennessee with wrestling, as far as wrestling is involved
Okay.
and professional wrestling. So we're going to get to what was known as, so the way kind of wrestling breaks everything down now is by era, right? So there's the Attitude Era, the PG era. There's all these eras that they break it down into, which is kind of the evolution of the business over the last, well, I guess century and a quarter now. So the very first era was in the early 1900s and 1910s, and they called that the Carnival Hooker era.
The carnival.
The Carnival Hooker era.
That's okay. Why?
Right?
I say there's a carnival with hookers.
So no, so at the time, wrestling when it very first started was basically a carnival sideshow. So, you'd go to the carnivals, they'd have their big tents set up with the main attraction, but they'd always have those little side tents with the side shows where you'd have the lady with hair, or what they called her, the
Josh?
The bearded lady.
the bearded lady. He said Josh. Thank you, Chris. They'd have the bearded lady or the man that could, the man that could lift the super amount of weight or whatever. There's always those side shows. And wrestling that became one of those kind of side shows during the 1900s. So the problem is what they would use were called hookers. Well, hookers were legit shoot fighters, right? These were the real badasses of the time. And those guys would get involved in these matches. And of course, wherever there's matches where there's real competition, real strongman, real competition, there's going to be betting.
Yeah.
So wherever there's betting, there's going to be fixing of betting.
Yeah.
So as you kind of get towards the 1920s, 1930s era, and you're rolling into that era, the betting becomes kind of fixed. So now you're getting plants in the audience where still we're in the carnival shows era, but those guys are kind of betting and they're realizing, hey, there's more money in us fixing this than there ever was in us just betting on who we think might win. So they're literally betting on or betting on the people that they're putting on. Now they would still have a shoot fight. Like they would still kind of fight, but as the fight would kind of get towards the end, they're going to lose, right? They're going to throw the bet to try to produce wins. So you're going to try to produce money. That was the whole concept.
Yeah.
It seems like as long as there's ever been sports and competition, there's been gambling on it.
Oh, always.
Right. Always.
Yeah.
And as long as there's gambling, there's fixing, right? Vegas is Vegas.
Yeah. I mean, people been known to throw games.
I mean, there's an entire
Industry
on like debunking how Vegas scams you.
Yeah.
And like does the whole scam of what Vegas does. So wrestling was no different back then. So they were just pretty much scamming people. They were throwing people in. So, you kind of go through the 30s. But the thing is, like, going into the 20s and 30s, kind of the Great Depression became, a big factor in people being able to afford to go out and do entertaining things, right? And so wrestling was cheap entertainment. So during the Great Depression, the wrestling actually seen kind of a boost in business.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So it was as big as boxing back then. And it actually, this is a reoccurring thing that you'll see, is it will become as big as boxing several times throughout it. It goes through a lot of roller coaster eras where it has popularity, loses popularity. But it's kind of like boxing in that sense where it eventually gets to boxing. I think it's not even arguable now that wrestling's far succeeded boxing in popularity.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, the merchandise sales.
Yeah.
The advertisement sales.
Is just an occasional thing that
But
happens.
in the 80s, when me and Chris grew up, maybe not you in the 90s, but when me and Chris grew up in the 80s, boxing was huge.
I know,
Your Mike
you had
Tyson's,
Rocky,
your Vander
you had all the
Holyfield's,
Rocky movies.
and the Rocky movies, like the boxing was huge. So, and prior to the 80s, right, and prior to basically the 90s, everything prior to the 90s, boxing was the dominant combat sport, right? Until wrestling showed up. Now it was a shoot fight in the early days, but again, going into the 20s and 30s, they're kind of moving towards let's just fix this because it's way easier to do, and we take less injuries, we make more money,
Yeah.
and so the other part that really kind of launched wrestling in the mainstream during not just during the Great Depression, but even going into the 30s was the radio, right? So with radio, you still had not just radio, but you had kind of film reels that were getting to be popular then. So you remember, like, when you would see the staticky film, silent film kind of thing, the old black and white thing. So you still had those kind of things. You weren't quite having actual film, right? It was still just kind of clips because they couldn't figure out how to run a camera long enough to get up. So you still just had clips. And so between the radio and the newspapers and those early film reels, there was cheap entertainment during the Great Depression. So people were listening to the radio and they were really it was catching some popularity. But you enter the 40s and 50s era and now you're introducing TV, right? So especially towards the late 40s, early 50s when you're looking at TV. You all right over there, Sparky? So the problem that happened in the early 40s, though, was that wrestling kind of took a dip. So you had the World War II coming up in the early 40s, early to mid 40s.
Everybody's off to war.
So all the dudes are gone, right? Everybody's off fighting wars.
The women are doing the baseball.
The women ain't watching. No, yeah. Women are too busy making Tom Hanks movies. That's so. And they were too busy filming a league of their own to be worried about wrestling. So wrestling kind of took a dive there for the early 40s, right?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, the promoters of the era, the guys that were really pushing in the 50s or in the 40s and 50s that were really pushing for any kind of business, right? The boys are gone to war. The ladies are playing baseball or at home taking care of TV or taking care of the household. And they're trying to figure out, how do we keep wrestling afloat? So they kind of started dividing off into small territories and getting big fish in small pond kind of scenarios, right? They would develop a big, whoever their main event guy was, whoever their main attraction guy was. They would start.
Their babyface.
Well, then, it might not always. Sometimes it was a heel.
Yeah.
Right? But see, we'll get into that. Baby faces and heels.
Oh, I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah, you're jumping the gun a little bit too much, right? So the other thing that happened with this TV era was kind of the boom of predetermined storylines, right? That was the
A script.
a script, essentially, yeah. So they started doing the whole script thing and establishing the storylines and trying to figure out, okay, drama breeds dollars, right? Drama puts butts in seats. So we got to create drama. That's the whole idea. If you ever notice, like even wrestling today, it's not believable. We're all on the inside now. Nobody believes that wrestling's real,
Right.
but we're all on board with it because we can suspend. We get the suspension of disbelief. We can do that in order to be entertained by the storyline,
Right.
and that's kind of where wrestling has gotten now.
Yep. Yeah.
So, thank you, honey. Just chiming in there. Yeah. So, but anyway, so back to the 40s and 50s where TV's starting to hit. Now, we're still in the black and white era, right? But you do have guys that came out. And I don't know if y'all remember Gorgeous George, that was a famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Gorgeous George is one of the I won't say he's the original celebrity wrestler because even kind of during the carnival days, you had some guys that started to get established, started to build a name for themselves because they were traveling from town to town like the carnivals did. But enter the TV era, now all of a sudden you got a little bit, you can pretty much hit everybody in your town or at least that surrounding area, as far as getting visibility went. So guys like Gorgeous George would come up and he figured out, oh, wait a minute, I need to wear a big flamboyant robe when I come on. So before, when it was just radio, your only concern was your in-ring action because you're relying 100% on the commentator to deliver the message. Right. The commentator's creating the atmosphere, creating the mental picture for the listener. But now you've got TV and you've got the visual side of it. So now it's the wrestler who has to create the visual side. Mm-hmm. So now that wrestler's putting on fancy robes. We've all seen Ric Flair walk out and go, woo!
Nature Boy.
The Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Yep.
Diamond. Well, was it jet flying and his whole. Well, you can't keep these gators down.
Yeah.
So you had the Ric Flair era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but all those guys, the Ric Flairs, the Rick Rudes, the Macho Man Randy Savages, all those guys that would come out in those fancy robes, that all came from the 1940s, 50s era.
To a Slim Jim.
Snapping to it. Came from Gorgeous George, the whole era of the 40s and 50s. So that's when presentation became a whole thing, right? So obviously that's where the storylines kind of developed and your idea of what was known as heels and faces, which is what you were going to, honey.
Yeah. See? Yeah. But I'm waiting to get to the parts where,
where you know anything about what we're talking about?
Like,
she does know some of this stuff, just she don't know this far back that I'm discussing.
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm paying attention.
All right. So with the 40s and 50s,
okay,
we're going to move into the 60s. So you're coming in with the TV era, the whole black and white era, the development of the character having to build a visual stimulant, some way to attract them visually, right? So now you're kind of getting everybody breaking off into their territories because they're having to build these big name wrestlers in their area to attract that local audience.
It's where the original Vince McMahon's probably going to make
it. Is where the Vince McMahon Sr. starts to come into picture. So the 1960s is what was known as the territory era, right?
Oh.
So the territory is where you would basically, like I said, everybody would have their hot heel, their hot baby face. And for those who don't know, a baby face is the good guy. Yeah. A heel is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and you'll hear terms like work and shoot. So a work is something that is meant to deceive, right? It's you staying in storyline, and you'll hear the term kayfabe means the same thing. You're staying in storyline, where something is a shoot, it means it's a for real thing happening. So you heard me talk about the 1900s and them being real shoot wrestlers. That's what I meant by that. They're straight, hardcore, tough guys that are doing the real deal. So in the 1960s territory systems, everybody's kind of scrambling for any business they can get, right? We're coming out of we're heading into Vietnam. There's a lot of shit going on. We're just trying to grab whatever business we can get. So you get the territory divide, like Canada. You had the Harts that everybody remembers, Bret Hart, Owen Hart.
Yeah.
So Stu Hart,
Foundation.
the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
So their dad, Stu Hart, that was his Canada territory, right? In Texas, you had the Von Erichs. Memphis, you had the Lawlers. In New York, you had the McMahons. And they kind of covered the whole New England area up that northeast. So everything was kind of divided into territories, right? And everybody was fighting over the territories. And it was getting really, really ugly, right? So in came in what was known as the NWA. So a lot of these guys that were the promoters of these individual territories who had their stars, had their shows, who were working with their local TV guys, right? Promoting their local product, but they're all competing for space. So in order to get rid of all that competition and all that territorial divide that they were having, the NWA formed. So the NWA is the National Wrestling Alliance.
Okay, I was wondering. I was thinking National Wrestling.
Yeah, it's not the other. It's not the N-word.
Well, yeah, I was thinking it's
with
talking
attitudes.
about the band?
It's not the N-word with attitudes.
Like,
no, it's not that.
What do they got to do with
Although Ice
wrestling?
Cube is the shit, so I do like some old school NWA music, but that's not what we're talking
That's
about.
still too early for NWA if we're in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
NWA
So, but they were NWA. So they were the National Wrestling Alliance, is what they were called.
It's like an association for the A.
Alliance. Association makes sense because that's how we use that mostly now.
Oh yeah, so it's like, yeah,
That can make sense.
yeah. It's not like it's a far leap.
It's a far leap.
It's not a far leap.
Hey.
About a 20-foot leap.
About a 20-foot. That's not a huge leap.
I
You
knew
ever
it.
watched Ninja Warrior? That's not a huge leap.
Well, for him, that's a huge.
20 feet? That's
It does good to walk to the bathroom without
you
shaking.
motherfuckers. I'm not crippled anymore.
Well, mental.
That says otherwise. I'm
That's
watching his legs shake like a mofo.
That's a nerve damage.
I was pointing that out to Courtney earlier. As while you were talking, I was looking at her, like, what's his leg? He's shaking. I was like, I could tell we might want to keep this moving.
Yeah, it's just from riding.
I can tell. You're on a long ride.
Anyways,
So anyway, 1960s, we're in the territory system. Everybody's got a territory, and everybody's got their main heel, their main baby face, their main good guy, bad guy. Everybody's promoting their thing, but they're fighting for territory. NWA comes in, or all the main promoters decide, hey, let's get together and quit fighting. There's a lot more benefit in us sharing our talent, right? So we'll have one main NWA champion.
and sharing is caring.
Right, sharing is caring. We'll have one main NWA champion. Each territory will kind of have its own little championship, but there'll be one main NWA champion, and they'll all agree and vote based on storyline and what was going on as to who that champion would be. So that's basically what was going to carry them through the 1960s. So what that allows them to do is not only are we getting to have a champion that's going to be going from territory to territory to territory, the same guy who can also prove that he can draw a crowd in every area he goes to. Because at that time, wrestling was very different in each territory, right? So you'd go up north and you had very technical guys, right? These are guys who would use moves that were very technical, that were very by the book. You go down to the south and these were brawlers. These were guys that were throwing heavy punches, right? Scrappers, right? But then you'd go hit Texas and these guys were high flyers. These guys were very athletic. These are football players. These are, shoot wrestlers. These are guys who are very athletic, so they're jumping off the ropes. It's a very different style. So all these areas had these different styles. What the NWA's champion proved was you could go to all these territories and prove yourself and get over with the crowd. Getting over means you've won their fan base. You've won their vote.
Yeah.
So you can get over with the crowd. So
I get over with everybody else.
you do, honey. You know what's crazy is you're probably the most popular person on this podcast, in spite of the fact that Sparky's on here.
Well, I mean, I'm a delight.
I mean, he's the podcaster of our generation.
Always.
I'm a delight, of course.
You are a fucking delight.
Anyways.
Define delight.
Appetizing.
Define appetizing.
You don't want me to.
Define you don't want me to.
So,
Anywho, back to wrestling.
Anyway, that's kind of where we're sitting in the 60s. It's the whole territory thing. The NWA is kind of bringing everybody together, and there's still a couple of different ones that are kind of wanting to see their way out going into the 70s, right? Vince McMahon Sr., not Vince McMahon Jr. that we all know now.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon Sr. that ran the WWF. Him and I think it was the guy that ran AWA. Both of them kind of decided they didn't want to be part of the NWA. They kind of wanted to do their own thing, play by their own rules.
And the WWF was the worldwide wrestling.
It was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
It was WWF.
It was WWW.
It was. When Vince McMahon Sr. owned it, it was the WWW. There was three
Worldwide.
W's. It was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Little wrestling history there for you.
That was impressive, Sparky. I'm glad you knew that.
Well, okay.
Pay attention.
Sorry, I'm not dinosaur age.
So do y'all remember, Chris will probably remember this, because it happened kind of going into the 80s. Do you remember walking through like a magazine section of a grocery store or pharmacy or whatever and finding those wrestling magazines with Ric Flair's blood just fucking dripping everywhere? It Sting's blood dripping everywhere.
I remember a little bit
On
of
the
that.
covers?
I remember the other Playboys and Penthouse.
Yeah, I actually have those too. That's
Yeah.
the funny you said that. We'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, he had to turn them around the other day.
Yeah, because the kids were in the room. They're on my wrestling display with all my like figures and all my. They're like literally right there. You can see the back of the magazines. They were facing the other way before where I could see Spine Out, but the Spine Out had the cover facing, and the kids came down. So I was like, I just walk over here and turn that around, put that back. They're collector's
You
items.
should put little band-aids over there.
They're collector's items. I can't damage them.
I got some stickers that
They've
would
been
get
damaged.
one leave.
Yeah,
Guarantee it.
Hey, put a black light on.
there was
those.
that one page I couldn't get to come apart.
Hey, put a black light on.
No, fuck that. Yeah, no, fuck that. Yeah, that ain't happening. Nah, I touch them with gloves now.
Yeah, yeah. I put a black light on.
Because
See
they
how-
were packed very, very well.
They really were, weren't they? Because Courtney was there when I opened them.
Where did you get them from?
eBay.
Oh, you know, you know.
Oh, yeah, they come out of somebody's personal collection.
I bet they did.
Yeah.
I bet they got some personal.
This
stuff
was,
on it.
you remember China?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was one with China in it. Tori Wilson.
you know they didn't buy it for the articles.
Oh, yeah.
They beat off all over
They
that thing.
totally bought it for the art.
Fucking confession. This is the second time I've owned 2 of those copies in my lifetime. When I was a teenager, I had those exact
So
same
you know
fucking
what
copies.
you were doing with it.
Oh, well, now I always say teenager. That's probably early 20s. Hell yeah, I was a college kid, man.
Yeah. So I tell you right now, that thing would glow like
Oh,
a
yeah.
night,
Oh, yeah, I would. Yeah, if I put a black light on it, yeah, it'd light the room up.
like a flare.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it's on the shelf and not in my hands right now. It's like a display item.
That's cool.
Kind of.
Did
Yeah,
you ship the sock with it?
You're you're welcome for that, by the way.
Yeah. What did he send a starched up sock for?
How, I bet you probably had thought to yourself at one point, there's no way anybody could ruin me owning these Playboys.
No, I can.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Hold my beer.
Bet. Bet.
I love you, honey.
I love
Yeah. You put a
Put a bit of a dark cloud over that one.
you know. That's the one that you go down to your mom's kitchen and get a piece of saran wrap beforehand. You put it over the magazine.
See, the fact that you verbatim went through that
His creativity is disturbing sometimes.
I just
that he
thought it.
knew that saran wrap would work because
He needs
it makes
experience.
sense.
He said it like he was experienced.
Yeah,
No,
you-
believe it or not, it's not from experience. but
Probably
that-
when he borrowed his mom's like Cosmos or what Women's Better magazine.
I was born in
Women's Health.
'75. That thing, I was
It was
looking at
finger-
Okay,
Montgomery.
so
it's
Better
Finger Hut
Hug
Montgomery
Garden
Ward.
or
Yeah,
Victoria's
the
Secret.
Finger Hut lingerie section.
Montgomery
yeah,
Ward.
Yeah. That's the Finger Hut.
Montgomery Ward.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
I'm just saying,
Finger Hut and Montgomery
you're
Ward
real
lingerie
quick with that
section.
saran wrap.
Well, I just thought naturally,
We
what's
didn't have
gonna,
internet, goddammit.
yeah, what's going to clean up quickly and not, and I can still see through it.
Hmm?
I got to be able to see through it because when I'm beating it off, I got to be able to see what I'm hitting.
We didn't have internet. We had to use the Montgomery Ward and the Finger Hut lingerie section.
What would you
That's
use?
we had.
I used fucking saran wrap. If I was going to do it,
Like you
I
were
would use
looking at the
saran wrap.
men's briefs section. Well,
Oh.
you're not old. You had internet.
I'd use saran wrap if I had to. That'd be the first thing come to my mind.
Of course it would. I can't vouch for that part of it. The
Listen,
Finger Hut, I got
will
him
say,
on.
when
but
it comes to guys and masturbating, they MacGyver the shit out of me.
Goddamn right we can.
Oh, stuff
Look-
some ham in a
Hey,
paper towel roll.
hey, honey, name me a famous female scientist. You can't fucking name one. We're goddamn geniuses, men are.
There's female scientists.
Name one.
What's her name from Big Bang Theory? Played Blossom.
You can't even name her.
My team or
He
whatever.
can't even say it right.
Listen, she's got a weird name.
Hey,
Einstein.
you know what?
That's a male.
Exactly.
our point.
That's the only ones you can name.
Hey, what about Maria?
Who?
Maria.
Yeah, that's somebody falling asleep waiting on you to name one.
She died from poisoning.
So you can't name
Marie
one.
Curie.
That's my point.
Marie Curry?
Don't know.
Mary Carey? Mary Curry?
You don't know.
You're in Mariah.
No. Shit, that's going to bug me.
See, like I said,
She
you
died from like mercury
Again,
poisoning or something.
Men
like
are
that.
fucking geniuses. We got this shit.
She was a French engineer.
if you found a man dead on a deserted island by himself, I guarantee you're going to find coconuts that he's been fucking.
You ain't wrong.
I'm serious, man. Sitting on desert. What are you gonna do? Like, 4 days in deserted island.
Yeah,
You're
Marie Curry.
There's going to be a tree with a hole in it,
Hold
a
on.
coconut with a hole in it.
You're on the ship and you're on a boat and boom, it goes down. You're by yourself. 4 days in, you're sitting on this island. It's hot. You've got under a big palm leaf or whatever, and you're like, no one's fucking coming.
Fuck this.
And
I'm taking my
then a
door off.
coconut falls, boom, down in front of you, and you're like, and it's warm 'cause it's been in the sun all day.
How you gonna drill a hole in it?
You don't know, do you?
I'm getting a run of start.
That is the short.
Now, if you could find a way to put a hole,
A rock.
I'm getting a run of start.
Listen to me. If there's a way that you can find to put a hole at the top without spilling the liquid out.
Oh, man. Hey, you see that ship coming, that rescue ship, and I'd be like this. I'd be like, no, go back, go back.
See?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Y'all leave me here.
I took it and I elevated it.
I was saying earlier, like men think it quick. You take some hot honey ham and you put it in between. You put it in a paper towel roll holder. You know the tube. Pack in there tight.
Why does he know this?
I don't know.
I'm thinking outside the box.
I feel like he's sat around
I think you think inside the box.
situations before. Like you've just been sitting around one day, stoned, sitting on your porch, trying to see.
I think of the most unique way I
smoking a
could jerk
cigarette,
off.
probably just thinking, just like, if I had to, I bet if I needed to make a makeshift pussy, I probably could do it.
A watermelon in the oven for a half an hour. You just wanted to be seedless.
And then I know we talked about Castaway one time a while back, so.
Like 5 minutes ago.
And tell me if I'm lying, though, if you would not find a guy beaten off, that he would have at least beat off on that island, waiting for rescue.
Coconuts are all stuck together.
Yeah, I think any human probably would.
That's how he builds his hut.
It's the glue that sticks it
It's a tie the bind.
Yeah. When rain, he hates when rain comes. He's like, shit.
It's a little salty.
Yeah. Yeah, you build yourself quick.
Starts dripping down on you while you're under it.
You come 10 years later, he built a city.
What the fuck is wrong with us?
Yeah, he's built a city with his sperm.
We just lost every sponsorship we ever hoped to have. Right there. Their entire conversation just lost every sponsorship we ever hoped to have.
What would the name of the city be that he built with sperm?
Spermtropolis.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yankville.
Nuttalopolis?
Yankville.
Yankville? Spunkville?
Spunkville.
Nut milk.
Yeah, he'd have the whole island built.
Welcome to Nut Milk.
Nut Milk Overlook.
I'm telling you. You ever taste the people, the tourists there? You ever taste that milk on that island? Fucking delicious. Very filling.
It's like 1,000 kids.
Is it made from coconut?
Yeah, and I got hair growing on my gums.
No. Similarly shaped objects, but not coconut.
God, this wrestling podcast took a
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It really did. It
that took
went.
such a weird turn.
Okay. Where were we?
Well, I mean, we were in the 70s. We're heading towards the 70s.
Okay, let's.
It all started with his Playboys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Playboys.
Okay. Sorry. My bad.
Woo. So, but even come back from that.
Don't know.
Dive right into it, man.
Right. All right. So 1970s, when men were real men, right? So in the 1970s, we just, in the wrestling they were. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, men were men in the fire service, too.
Oh, yeah, same way.
Men were men in the 70s.
70s. Oh, yeah. You just took your shit and went on.
They were bad motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's the same way here. So we talked about the NWA, right? All these different territories that formed this alliance through the NWA. Well, in the 70s, the NWA is kind of on its like, it's running its hot peak, right? It's prime. Everything's running great. Storylines are kind of growing. Promoters are leaning really heavy into character-driven stories, right? So it's very much about, it's not just you're from this town and I'm from this town, so that makes us rivals, right? Now there's kind of story bases behind it. It's you slept with my cousin, you dirty Yankee, whatever, you dirty Yankee Sparky, it's me and the Southerner, and then, the Southerner's like Civil War, fucking Sparky smacks me down, probably. But it's actually happens differently. So for those that don't know, me and Sparky actually had a real wrestling match, and we animated it. We turned the whole thing into a cartoon. It's the real wrestling match. We turned the whole thing into a cartoon. You can't see the whole cartoon, but what you can see is a steal of the cartoon where I'm slamming Sparky down. That's the main point of the match, really, if we're going to be honest with you.
So we all know it's fiction.
So you can see it on Facebook. No, it's just an animated version. It's just the animated version. We all know the cartoons are basically us.
We know it's fiction.
So, anyway.
Of him slamming me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
70s were real men.
Posted it yet.
70s
Oh,
were,
you haven't yet?
What's that?
No, I
Yeah,
got
post
posted. I forgot to post it.
Oh, no, we'll get that later.
Okay.
Oh, this is not live.
Yeah, it's not live. So we're not recording this right now. So those of the rest of you will not hear this till either Thursday or Friday, or
Friday.
depending on where
Friday.
you're at.
Well, okay.
So you see, that ain't no wide jump when she yells. So the 1970s were tough guys, right? So what they would try to do, because these were really kind of story-based, the way they were doing it was really kind of big story-based. It wasn't just territorial. You're a guy, you're a territory guy against my territory. We've actually got developing storylines. Problem with that is they needed ways to draw from. They needed things to draw from to create these storylines. So they were drawing from real-life drama that these dudes were going through.
Oh, shit.
Right? So what they would do is these big old rough tough guys would kind of lay in these punches a little bit, lay in these kicks a little bit, lay in these slams a little bit in the 70s. So this is what they used to call working stiff, which meant you were, if you wanted it to look real, well, fucking lay it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking hit that punch. Just, and it is what it is. Just take it. You're not going to hit a dude so much his jaw's going to get bruised up real bad, hopefully. But you go let him know, he was in the fight. You guys are going to enjoy it. And sometimes fights would break out backstage because it got a little real on the ring. Or in the ring.
I mean, I'm sure tempers are going to flare.
Sure, and these are macho dudes,
You
right?
were always told as kids, quit wrestling around before one of y'all gets pissed off.
Right, but this was
This
when it was the 70s.
Yeah.
Heavy drugs, no regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine what them tempers were like then. These bitches were beating the fuck out of each other. Like the fuck
yeah.
out of each other. And just enjoying it. Because they would just go get drunk and get stoned and fucking do cocaine. And, you're in the 70s leading up into the 80s. Cocaine's getting ready to hit real hot. Steroids are hitting. These guys are huge. But the guys still in the 70s were still like single color tights with their initials on them, solid color boots, right? There was a little bit of character, but there were still some just rough, tough guys, right? They weren't quite the cartoon caricatures that came later on.
Yeah.
Right? So when you kind of get working into the 80s, what you're running into now is the WWF and the AWA has kind of moved away from the NWA, right? They're moving away from the alliance. Well, the WWF just starts consuming. Before that, let me prerequisites with Vince McMahon Jr. has now bought Vince McMahon Sr. out of WWF.
Yeah.
Or the WWF.
When was this?
This is in the 80s. So, right, early 80s, late
But
70s,
also,
early
too,
80s.
Vince McMahon was a promoter and TV personality before he became owner. 'Cause his
No,
dad-
actually, no. Yes, but to the point where he was an owner for a long time before people even knew he was an owner.
Yeah, I
Like
knew
he was
that,
on an owner
yeah.
of the very down low. So what had happened was,
Sorry.
Smoke buzzard.
No.
what had happened was, Vince McMahon Sr. is kind of looking to get out because the territory days are over, right? Vince McMahon Sr. is very much a old school guy.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon Jr. is the one that has the vision to go, hey, fuck this territory stuff. We need to go national, right? Step on toes. Who cares? We're a business. We're a for-profit business. We need to make a profit. We need to blow this up bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah.
So Vince McMahon Jr. comes in the early 80s and basically buys Vince McMahon Sr. out of it for like nothing. Like it was like $1.5 million or some stupid cheap amount. Like it was stupid cheap. Expensive maybe for the times, but when you consider the ROI there in the long run, it's a multi-billion-dollar company now.
Yeah.
So he buys them out, right? But Vince McMahon's big style was, his thing was, I'm going to buy every territory, right? So Vince McMahon went into Calgary and bought the Hart Foundation, the dungeon and the Hart Foundation, bought that, right? He goes to Texas and he buys the Von Erichs. He goes everywhere and buys all these, just basically buys these guys out. He's already poaching their talents, right? He's already poaching everybody that's good there because he's got the financial backing that his dad had out of New York. So he's poaching all these talents and he's going national. He's going to the TVs of the companies that are in those areas, those broadcast companies that are in those areas. Because you got to remember, there's not national television at this time. Everything's still local.
Yeah.
So he's going and buying out all these local TV times, and he's just eating them up and eating up these local wrestling places till they go out of business and basically have no choice but to sell events super cheap. Super cheap. Same thing he did at WCW, right? We all remember the whole Monday Night Wars thing when it was basically DX versus NWO and that kind of thing during the 80s. So what Vince decides to do is he's making everything big. He wants the characters to be larger than life. That's your Hulk Hogan's, your Andre the Giants, your Junkyard Dogs, your Big John Studs, your Macho Mans, your Jake the Snake Roberts.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
The Hacksaw Jim Duggins. These are all guys that were huge in other territories that Vince has bought up, right? But they're larger than life categories.
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper came out of the Northeast, or the Northwest. I'm sorry. He came out of the Northwest area, Midwest territories. But he bought all these territories and he's consuming all these talents and he's building the biggest thing that's ever happened. Fast forward to 82. Now we're at WrestleMania, the very first WrestleMania that's ever existed, right? And that's huge. You've got Cyndi Lauper. You've got Captain Lou Albano, who was, a big celebrity in the 80s. And you've got all these he's figured out that we can buy up all the competition and we can go national and make this a national brand. And so that's basically the big boom of the Hulkamania era. Again, take your vitamins and say your prayers, drink your milk, brother, right? And then you kind of go into the 90s. So as
Stone Cold Steve Austin,
exactly. So as the cartoon type thing where the 80s guys had cartoons. They had the big rubber guy action figures. They had all these things as they were larger-than-life cartoon-type characters. That kind of wore out over the years.
Yeah.
So come the 90s, you got the Attitude Era, right? So
yeah, that was a good era.
That was a good era, right?
It really was.
But where the money was made in the 80s and coming into the 90s was the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view,
so because not really a thing anymore.
Well, no, but what the big thing that the pay-per-views had, the big impact those pay-per-views had, is that brought the Attitude Era, right? Because you could get away more with a pay-per-view than you could on typical USA Network.
Yeah, they were sanctioned a lot on cable,
right? But they weren't on pay-per-view, so you could get away with a lot.
Well, not sanctioned, but censored is a better word.
Right. But that became the expectation of their viewers, so they kept pushing the era during the 19 era. I mean, you remember it's Stone Cold.
Yeah, Stone Cold was
when that glass broke.
Everybody went wild.
It was insane.
The stunner, man.
He would hit that stunner, kick to the gut.
And then get down there and get in their face.
Jaw jacking, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, he dragged, and he was funny. Like him and Vince going at it.
Oh,
I mean,
he was the everyday, the everyman. What do you call it? The everyman's guy, right?
Yeah,
he was the working
blue collar.
Everybody hated their boss then, and he was the voice of those who were voiceless. Pardon the CM Punk.
Everybody's ever wanted to tell their boss off.
Yeah, everybody just wanted to tell their boss. Everybody wanted to tell their boss, "Fuck you, go get bent. I can't stand you. You don't know what you're talking about."
He just unfortunately,
but he represented everything we ever wanted to do.
Yeah, he just unfortunately got injured a lot. Like freaking Owen Hart jacked up the whole.
Oh, he broke his neck.
Pile driver.
Yeah, did the pile driver that broke his neck.
Yeah, because that got banned for a while, and I'm like, dude.
And the only one that could do a pile driver after that was the Undertaker.
Yeah, he was the only one allowed to do it for the longest time.
Well,
but now they have brought it back nowadays, but it's a safer version of it.
Why was he the only one allowed?
Because it was such a dangerous move. The pile driver. That's how. Stone Cold Steve Austin,
he broke his neck
because Owen didn't do it right.
But did Undertaker, was he the only one that knew how to do it?
Yeah, that he would do correctly. And the only person that Undertaker would ever really let do it to him was Kane. I think Owen tempted to do. Didn't Owen at one point try to do the pile driver on Undertaker?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, possibly. I just don't remember.
I want to say somebody did, and I think they kind of botched it too, but I can't remember. Maybe it was Shawn Michaels.
The crazy thing about that era, though, is it really started to get real. Like, there was a lot of reality-based storyline.
Yeah.
So, if you remember, there was a storyline where one wrestler he was in a relationship with a female wrestler, And then that female wrestler started having an affair with another male wrestler, and they made it an entire storyline. And they had to work through that while going through it in real time.
Yeah.
They're going through it through storyline. So it kind of got real in the 90s.
It really did. Yeah, that was Lita.
And they pushed a lot of stuff. The Undertaker actually put Stephanie McMahon, who is Vince McMahon's daughter, that's one of the major players in the organization now. He actually put her on a cross and crucified her.
Yeah.
And I mean, you want to talk about something that was controversial
At that time, yeah.
at all.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, the suck it era.
Oh, yeah,
Dude,
DX.
Chris,
Oh, man.
dude, how many times did we as kids go to school and tell our fucking teachers when they weren't looking, go, yeah, as soon as they turned their back, you're like, suck it.
Man.
And your ex chopping your crotch.
I remember being in middle
We
school.
all did it.
And every
kid did it. Every kid did it.
But they would get in trouble.
Oh, yeah, you were supposed to get in, and you should have gotten in trouble.
Yeah.
But we all did it. We the NWO.
I didn't do it.
Oh, you were too cool.
Yeah, you were too cool.
No. At my school, I went to a Lutheran school. If you'd have done that,
Did y'all
you
y'all
got
worship
your
Luther
ass
Vandross
beat.
there, don't you?
no.
No.
They would have beat you senseless.
Well,
He got.
I feel
You gotta remember, that's Catholic light. They had nuns light beating with rulers.
No, they didn't use rulers. They had paddles, and they drilled holes in them. So
yeah, but
Oh, I remember that. Dude, my middle school principal, he had a paddle with the holes in it, and he'd make you sign it.
hey, bet you were an altar boy, weren't you?
no,
Yes, he was.
we didn't. We don't have altar boys per se in the Lutheran Church. Thank you,
Oh, well, what do you have per se?
acolytes.
Were you an acolyte?
Yeah, but you don't do what altar boys do. But you don't do what altar boys do.
Behind the scenes, man.
Per se.
No, no. You lit the candles and you went back down. You sat
You
down
went
by-
back down?
You sat down by your mom and dad. Well, you actually sat up there, and then when it was over, you went down with your parents. But you sat up there in front of the whole church. After you lit the candles, you're sitting up there the whole service just for an hour.
Just looking around.
Yeah, you lit the candle, and then with communion, you help with communion, and then after that,
Then you go back and you blow the preacher.
no, you do not. After that,
Thought
you
that's
take
correct.
your robe off, you hang it up, and you go sit back down with your parents in your clothes that you wore to church.
You take the robe off, you put it over your head in disgrace.
Negative. Negative.
So that went kind of left.
We went left field again, didn't we?
You really did.
So the 90s, the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So back to the 90s and the Attitude Era. So during the 90s, we talked about, we had the Stone Cold, you had the Austin, you had that era.
The Rock.
Right. So, basically you had three major organizations, right? Ted Turner saw Vince McMahon come in and buy up all the territories, right? So Ted Turner's already got one of the territories, which is the AWA territory, which eventually turns into WCW. And so he ends up building WCW up because he's got a shit ton of money, right?
He just didn't know what the
This
fuck
is
he's doing with it.
Ted Turner that owns TBS, TNT, the Atlanta Braves, and now WCW. So he's got the money to back up whatever the hell he wants to do. So he bought away, literally Hulk Hogan away from the WWF.
Yeah.
At the time, WWF, right? Another big thing that happened in this era. The WWF now becomes the WWE.
Yeah.
The World Wildlife Federation decides after fucking 30 or whatever it is years of the WWF having their name, and we no longer want to be affiliated with you because they started seeing things like a character like the Godfather, which was a pimp-like character who would walk out with his hose. They started seeing things like Stone Cold flipping the bird and telling his boss to go fuck himself. They started seeing the Rock saying, stick this up your Rudy Poo candy ass.
Yeah.
So they start seeing all these things, and they don't want to be affiliated with that no more, or associated, or even anywhere confused by that. So now they're going to sue WWF. Well, now WWF is going to do a complete rebranding, right, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now we're the WWE. Get the F out was their whole logo.
Did they get
Which is
sued by
fucking
Weight Watchers?
genius. Huh?
Did they get sued by Weight Watchers
No, I don't think so.
for WWF?
Why would they be?
Weight Watchers Foundation? I think they did. If you look it up for
It wasn't the way had you not been on your phone and paying attention to the whole last fucking 10 minutes we were just talked about.
I had a brother reaching out.
I just said that they were sued by the World Wildlife Federation.
I know, but look and see if
It was not the Weight Watchers, it was the World Wildlife Federation.
Look up and see. I think Oprah Winfrey sued her.
Oprah Winfrey's not over.
She was her Weight Watchers.
Lord have mercy. God be with me in the starving pygmies in New Guinea.
Look it up. I hope it says so. I'll be like, I told you. Go ahead. We'll look up. We're pending
So-
results.
That being said, now you've got WCW, WWE transferred from WWF. Now we're WWE because the World Wildlife Federation has sued them.
We'll
And
see.
they had to change their name.
We'll see.
And so now there's the WWE, and you got WCW, which is Ted Turner's program. And you've got another little small startup that used to be what was known as Eastern Championship Wrestling. This is all in the late 90s, coming into the whole Attitude Era. You had the Eastern Championship Wrestling, got bought out.
you were wrong.
Yeah, it's worth a shot.
I knew he was.
It's worth a shot.
Eastern Championship Wrestling
Well, man's opinion.
got bought out by somebody that a lot of wrestling fans now would know as Mr. Paul Heyman. And
My name
it is Paul Heyman. So back then he was known as Paulie Dangerously. Well, he bought Eastern Championship Wrestling and turned it into Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW. So Vince McMahon decides he doesn't like ECW no more, and he goes and buys out ECW. Fast forward, Vince McMahon then buys out WCW, and when I tell you he bought it out for like less than like $2 million, it was a stupid amount of money. He's got no-name talent with bigger salaries than what he paid for WCW.
That's because they were idiots.
Because they overspent.
Didn't know what
They wanted Hulk Hogan. They gave Hulk Hogan everything he asked for. They wanted the Razor Ramon. They gave Razor Ramon everything he wanted. They wanted Diesel. They gave Diesel everything. They gave all this talent everything they wanted, and they ran out of fucking money. And then Vince McMahon said, "Okay, I'll buy you for pennies on the dollar," and he did. So then he then became, going into the early 2000s, he became the monopoly yet again, right? He was the monopoly, then WCW and ECW showed up. He bought them out. Now he's the monopoly again. So you kind of get past that whole extreme era, right? The whole Attitude Era was so extreme with tables and the crucifixion and you know the go fuck you to your boss.
Well, the whole
and the crotch
freaking,
chop and
Triple H with Stephanie passed out in the car.
passed out in the car. Yeah, like he roofied her. It was crazy. Yeah,
I do remember.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that they got away with back then, you would never get away with now.
Cold driving in a damn beer truck,
Spraying
and
everybody,
a hose.
and then the milk truck after that.
Yeah,
Turn
Just think if it was coconut milk.
It was crazy. So you get into that, but eventually, you know, when everybody kind of gets burnt on how more extreme can we be, how far can we push it, everybody got burnt on that, right? So we hit the 2000s, or the 2010s really, and we get in what they called the PG era. So everything, you got John Cena. Everybody knows who John Cena is, right? You got a few of those staples, your Hulk Hogan's, your Stone Colds, your Rocks, your John Cena's. Regardless, if you know wrestling, you know those names, right? Those are all kind of they kind of superseded pop culture kind of thing, right? So John Cena owns the 2010s, right? That's his whole era. That's the PG era. He's the, you know, the baby face. When they say,
The boy next door.
yeah, what they call a whitewash baby face, right? Which means you are as clean and crystal and as pure as you could possibly be as a baby face. And that's the way John Cena was seen. He pretty much carried it during the early 2000s and that era. WWE, having already bought out all those organizations, decided we've got Monday Night Raw, which was their main, you know, their flagship show. And then they took what they consumed from WCW and created SmackDown, right? But then they needed a feeder program, much like baseball does with the minor leagues. You know how, like, here locally we have the Smokies, and they're the feeder team to the Chicago Cubs, right?
Right.
And so they kind of did the same thing. They developed what was known as NXT. Next, it's their feeder program to SmackDown and Raw, right? It's their kind of feeder show with their developmental program. They really treat it like sports, like a true sport. And you got to think, these are, even though it's predetermined and it's pre-established,
They're athletes.
these are 100% athletes. They face all the same risks and injuries that football and you know, and baseball and basketball and all the other combat sports that they face all those same, you know, opportunities for injury. To be honest with you, I mean, they do. It's an amazing sport. The history of the business is what drew me to it. The parts that I've explained about how it changed, and now, of course, I'm giving synopses and very brief snapshots of time of each of these decades. But there's so much more detail and history within each of these characters in each of these decades. The development, how it changed, the territory days. To be honest with you, is probably the part that introduced me the most or excited me the most. Learning how all these businesses interacted with each other under the same umbrella of professional wrestling, but how do we interact without stepping on each other's toes? And they didn't. So once they started stepping on each other's toes, it's like, how do we quit stepping on each other's toes and get along?
Now you're fucked.
Yeah, and so watching the evolution of the business to me was what really fascinated me about the business. You know, it's always really interested me how that worked out, and the collector aspect of it, right? You know, everybody that collects old G.I. Joes and old He-Man and Power Rangers and Pokemon and fucking wrestler figures and whatever it is, you know, the toy world and the wrestling figure industry, the collectors and the money that's made in that industry is insane.
Money continue being made.
Right, the autographs, right? The autographs, the amount of guys that show up to these conventions and the indie world.
I mean, you look at what Triple H has done with it today, though. He's taken it and turned it into...
Well, and that's what they call this. They call this the Triple H era. That's what this era now is known as. So as we just talked about the 2010s being the PG era, everything was clean. You kind of got your Brock Lesnar's, your Becky Lynch's, your Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter is a big player. So they all kind of came into the PG era through that NXT program, that developmental program I was talking about. They all kind of came through there, but now we're in the Triple H era. That's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So we're in that era that you're just talking about, the one where he's basically in charge. Vince McMahon's gone. The old man, they just called him the old man. The old man's gone. And Triple H is in charge now. And it's a totally different show, and it's a totally different program. They were international before. They're international on a whole new level. The company that owns them...
How much do you think is being made off of Hulk Hogan's memorabilia now?
Oh, yeah.
So I will tell you, WWE doesn't make nothing off of it, and here's why.
Really?
Yeah. Hulk Hogan, for all his strengths and faults, he was a very intelligent businessman. Hulk Hogan owns the rights to Hulkamania, Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, Terry Hogan, Terry Bollea.
No, I was
all
wrong.
His names.
I was wrong. I meant how much money is
There's a lot of money being driven.
No, I mean, how much do you think, like, the cost of Hulk Hogan memorabilia?
Oh, it went skyrocket.
That's what I mean.
I got one right there that went up. I got one over there.
Yeah, that's right.
And I bought those, honey, a month before he passed away, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, just coincidentally. I just happened to buy these action figures that were Hulk Hogan action figures like a month. Just because I saw them, I thought they looked good. I got them at a good price.
Hulk Hogan came back to WWE after Vince bought WCW. He had it put in his contract that he owns. It's either before he left or when he came back.
So
it's either on his way out or when he came back.
One of the things that Vince did before leaving WWE, and it was a really smart business decision. It's tough on the wrestlers, or on the talent, but it was a smart business decision. He makes sure that when he signs a wrestler, he owns the rights to their character.
Yeah, no,
Period.
that's where China got.
So, well, it is exactly where that happened. So what he'll do, like with NXT, when a lot of those guys come into NXT, they're on developmental contracts. So they're on contracts that are very limiting, both in what they're obligated to and what's obligated to them. So they own their names, and they'll often enter and they'll work and they'll be dressed as their name or whatever wrestling persona they come up with, right? But when they get pulled up to Raw or SmackDown to the main shows, WWE will completely change their name.
Yeah.
They'll give them a complete different identity, and they'll own that identity. So that when that identity becomes popular, they own all rights and royalties to that identity, to that character. And that wrestler, John Doe, no longer is ex-wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't own any other rights to that name.
Yeah.
Right. And so what that does is that screws that guy when WWE decides he's no longer the draw they need, and they cut him. And now he's got to go work the convention circuits, and he's got to go work fairs, but he can't even use his name. He can't even use the name that he's known for that was the draw. So that's where WWE's smart on the business level, but if you're an independent wrestler, you better hang on to your name. You better build your name so strong that WWE has to let you keep your name in order for them to get to use your name.
You had to be another Hulk Hogan.
Well, not necessarily, but you at least...
John Cena.
You got to be at least of the level that you're going to make them enough money, they're willing to write away their rights to your name.
Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Dude, that dude was a legend. So what's crazy is, you mentioned him in that era, the amount of wrestlers that came from the East Tennessee area that you would not believe. You know, have you ever heard of Randy Orton? Mm-hmm. Randy Orton is a Knoxville-born resident. He didn't grow up here.
No, he grew up in Kentucky.
But he is I don't think it was Kentucky.
Yeah, that's his hometown. He was in Kentucky.
But he actually was born in Knoxville. Active right now, there is several prominent wrestlers that are from the Knoxville area. So you have a wrestler named Bianca Belair, who was, if I'm not mistaken, I think she went to Austin East. I could be wrong about that. Possibly Fulton. Is it Fulton?
Either Fulton or Austin East.
But either way, she went to a local Knoxville school, moved away, went to a couple of other colleges, ended up finishing her degree at the University of Tennessee. So she's a UT alumni. Go Big Orange. She promotes Big Orange on several shows. She actually came out in UT colored gear one time, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it never made. I wish there was a wrestling.
She went to Austin East.
It was Austin East. I wish there was a wrestling figure of it, but there's not of her in that gear.
What year did she graduate?
She's probably mid-30s.
She was born in 1989, so she would have graduated a year after me.
So she's 35.
I bet you my buddy's wife may know her.
Possibly. And there's another one, if you'll look this one up too, is Ivy Niles. Ivy Niles is another one that grew up.
Maybe she's the one that went to
Fulton. That may be the one I'm thinking that went to Fulton. She's another one that grew up here and became a professional wrestler that was actually a local girl. And of course, we all can't forget Kane.
No, not at all.
Mayor Jacobs.
Mr. Fuji.
So Mr. Fuji. So for those who aren't from the Knoxville, Tennessee area, our mayor, our Knox County mayor is actually Glenn Jacobs, who you would know if you're a fan of wrestling as Kane. And he's done a fantastic job. I have no complaints. Don't even know what political affiliate he's with, but nothing he's done has changed my life one way or the other, so I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah, that's good.
That's how I look at it. Nothing he did has a negative impact on me so far. So.
No, I like the guy. He does a lot of good, actually. He shows up at a lot of events and
for the firefighters support.
I actually seen him be very gracious to a.
You've met him, I guess, haven't you?
I have, and I've seen him be very gracious to a child one time. That was a special, and Kane really took time with him. He was not dressed as Kane.
He's Mayor Jacobs at the time.
Yeah, and the kid came up to him and said, "Why aren't you dressed as Kane?" I don't know if he would remember this. We were on the east side, but he actually kind of snapped into that character for a second, to his persona. I don't want to say character, but persona, and started dressing that kid, and it was a real cool interaction to watch.
When you, regardless of his politics, whether you agree, people agree or disagree with his politics, that is irrelevant to me. What I look at is like, when you watch guys do acts of kindness like that and you interact with a guy, and regardless if you agree with him or disagree with him on politics, but if he treats you with respect, looks in your eyes, shake your hands, treats you like a man, treats you like a human being, which I felt like most of the interactions I've seen him have with people, and that seems to be your experience as well. From what I've heard.
So Ivy Niles is not from here.
Well, you can tell how a society, you can tell a lot about a person by how they
went to high school in California. She came here to Kane's Academy to train under Kane, but she's not.
She's built from Knoxville on the program, and most of my research has shown her being from Knoxville, and I'm pretty sure it was Fulton. Because she talks about growing up in Knoxville. I've seen interviews with her.
Getting back to, if you look at Kane, you look how somebody treats, how people treat people like that, because I think special needs people are normal and we're all fucked up, to be honest with you. I think they're the normal ones because they're happy all the time. And I think we're the ones that are fucked up.
You can tell a lot about people by the way they treat elderly, special needs, women, children, people, as far as men go. I'm maybe it's chauvinistic, sexist, whatever you want to call it.
I know what you
The way I see it is, as a man, I can tell a lot about you by how you treat people of other demographics, whether it's a racial demographic, sexual demographic, age demographic, mental capacity, whatever the case is.
Right.
How you treat other people that are different than yourself. That tells a lot about who you are as a character.
Yep, I agree.
In my opinion, my face.
Yep.
So she's still deep diving on this Ivy Niles.
But yeah, so he is.
I think you're thinking she went to high school because they've said it that her graduating class from the wrestling school was in Grimsley, Tennessee.
And that's true. But I've done a lot.
I'm just saying, I'm not finding anything that she's from Knoxville. The only thing I can find is that she came to wrestling school here in Knoxville, but it is not saying.
People, this is your typical millennial fact checking people when they talk. It's a problem we face in today's society when they all have these little Google devices in their hands.
So Ivy Niles, one way or the other, I wish her the best, whether she's from Knoxville or not. But her being from East Tennessee, there is a huge impact that East Tennessee had on the wrestling business, right? So the NWA that we talked about earlier, that was part of that alliance. They actually stopped by here a lot during the 50s and 60s and 70s. They were here quite a bit. And there was actually a promotion back then called Southern Championship Wrestling, which was...
I mean, it does say her birthplace is Knoxville, Tennessee, but I'm not saying anything. I don't know if they're putting that thinking it's her birthplace because of the fact that she went to wrestling school here.
No, wrestling, I'm surprised. I don't think she wrestled as a baby.
I didn't say she wrestled as a baby.
You're stupid.
I was
She
saying,
said, I think they're getting it confused because she graduated from wrestling.
it said prior to contract signing,
See, normally...
she was offered a WWE tryout as early as April 2019. She went on to train under the expertise.
But that's why she trained here, because she was from here.
Tom Pritchard and Glenn Kane Jacobs at their wrestling school in
with that being said, that is where one of our good friends also trains, Mr. Hunter Wolf.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Mr. Hunter. No, I know he does. So Mr. Hunter Wolf trains there. So those who are friends, or those who live in the area, if you ever get an opportunity to go see Mr. Hunter Wolf, he's one of our local wrestlers. He wrestles for several organizations around here. He is several promotions. He is an absolute phenomenal wrestler.
Real good guy, too.
And an amazing guy. And his character's awesome. He's a big brute, 6'10". He's a monster of a man. And he's not a dude that you want to cross.
No.
But he's an amazing professional wrestler. You got to go out and see him.
Great guy.
Look him up online, Hunter Wolf. You can't miss him. Knoxville, Tennessee. He's all over the place. He wrestles in Morristown. He wrestles, all over. I think I even went to Georgia. He's been everywhere all over.
He goes all over the place.
Yeah, but he's an amazing. You got to check that dude out. So, but he's another one of the great talents that are coming out of this area, man. This area was really known for a lot of wrestling. Like I said, during the 50s, 60s, 70s, the NWA stopped here a lot, did a lot of promotions. You had what was known as the Southern Championship Wrestling that was ran by Ron Fuller back then. I don't know if that name rings a bell.
I got a yarn clown when I was a baby from the Mongolian Stomper.
Mongolian Stomper was another one that was here quite a long time. So he was during the Ron Fuller era. It's that same kind of era. That whole era was really kind of big for Knoxville and what its contribution was to the wrestling and the territory eras. But then even later on, you got to the early 90s through even the mid 90s. Jim Cornette ran Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So when I was a kid, the 91 through 95 has me 11 through 15. That's my age group back then.
I think I probably went to Smoky Mountain.
Yeah, so I went to Smoky Mountain Wrestling. This is where I first met and got an opportunity to sit on the lap of at like 11 years old or 9 years old or whatever it was. I got an opportunity to sit on the of Jerry the King Lawler.
By Terry Lindell.
Terry Lindell was a big one. And the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, Bobby Eaton, they were big back then. They were local celebrities. But I got to sit on the lap of Jerry. Jerry the King Lawler was one of the nicest human beings to meet at that age. He shook my hand, sat me on his lap, patted me on the back, signed a little autograph, did the whole thing, sent me on my way. This was in the territory days, mind you, back then. Because we're still in the 80s. That's when the territory days were kind of starting to wrap up because Vince is buying up everything. Smoky Mountain was kind of like the last stretch of the territory days in the late 80s, early 90s. But man, it was a big time for wrestling in there. Then the World's Fair Park here in downtown Knoxville, they used to wrestle quite a bit. That's where a lot of the NWA stuff happened way back in the day.
Yeah.
So, but that's my wrestling segment, guys. So
I like it.
Yeah, man. It's a fun little history. So it's a nostalgic. It's not something that's everybody might be into, but I think everybody remembers Hulk Hogan. Everybody remembers Stone Cold.
Yep.
And maybe you learned a little something new today.
There we go.
Maybe.
If not, and I bored the shit out of you, well, fuck it. Come back next week. It'll be something different.
There we go.
That's all I got to say. Hey, honey, show them a little bit of that outro I got going on. You got that queued up somewhere? It's your phone's in your
side.
There it is. So I've had a lot of fun doing this, to be honest with you. And I did that little wrestling promo to come into it. And then I recorded this other little wrestling promo to go out of it. And I find fucking funny. Maybe nobody else does. I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Now listen up, you slack-jawed YouTube commenting section living dollar store belt collected marks. You just got taken to church by the noble outlaw himself, Fat Jesus. That's right, baby. We out here sugarcoating nothing. We're dishing out the blunt truth of wrestling history, decade by damn decade, while you were busy slapping your thighs and playing your video games. With your Funko Pops, we were dragging your sorry asses through the smoke-filled arenas, the territories, the blood, the guts, the glory, and we ain't stopping till you know your history, baby. This is the Just Talking Shit podcast. This is blunt truth history, and if you don't like hearing the outlaw gospel from Fat Jesus himself, well, then pack up your AEW foam fingers, shine them up real nice, turn them sideways, and stick them straight up your candy asses, because the noble outlaw is riding again, baby. We ain't stopping till the whole world gets baptized in the truth, and that's just the way it is.
That was good. That was good.
I'm a nerd.
I like it.
Thank you. I'm a nerd.
All right, well,
This has been fun.
yeah, I'm about ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, we've had a good time, though. This was
10
fun.
clocks.
Is it really? Yeah, we pushed it. We had this one stretched out a long time.
Yeah, you can hear my allergies are acting up pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm starting to get allergic to your dumb ass myself.
I hate you.
All right, y'all. Well,
So, guys, thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate everyone listening, really. It
Yeah.
really means a lot to
Definitely.
us. And it would really mean a lot to us, guys, if you could comment on the... we never really understood how significant that was until we got into this business. And the comments, the likes, the subscribes mean everything as far as us getting sponsorships, us being able to keep the program running, to grow the program. It means the world to us, and we really appreciate if you guys can help us out on that.
yep.
Well, y'all, see you next week.
Love you.
Bye.